Dear brothers and sisters, and all Africans across the diaspora, we proudly welcome you to another intellectual presentation from His Excellency, the Jedi.
What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. And Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I'm not ready, but it started counting down. And once it does that, you are kind of a slave to the moment. Like, get it together or not. Just give me a second to get us to the proper orientation. I'm not going to obsess. I feel like whatever. Wait. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm just going to be okay with that. I got this just in case. Just in case the help want to act out. Whatever. I'm good. I'm giving you guys the nexus of knowledge and wisdom and me. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi, and welcome to my first live event of 2025 of the Jedi Speaks. Welcome. First, let me just, before it gets overwhelming, let me just see who's here right now at this moment, and then I can do check-ins later. Let's see. We have Sean Scott. A big shout out to you and a happy new year. Supreme Goddess Nani. I couldn't call you back. You called me right in the middle. I was in wardrobe. I was in hair. There's a lot of things I couldn't do. My manager was on the phone. My agent was screaming at me. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm dealing with. Um, and a big shot and a kiss to my little bug. If you're watching, man. um, Andrea, you ain't fool nobody. Happy New Year, heifer. Black Beauty, always a constant gardener, always here. Big happy New Year to you. Willa, a big happy New Year to you, Queen. Uh, and Sweet D, a big shout out to you. I think this is not moving, y'all. I shouldn't be on this right now, anyways. Yeah, this one's not moving, and I don't see it on here. And for anybody, I want to remind you that the link is in the chat for anyone who wants to come on and have discussion and have your say on what I'm talking about. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, we're going to be all over the place, you guys, because there's so many things that I wanted to address. And I'm tired. But there's a lot of things I wanted to address because there's a lot of things I haven't spoken on. Some things I always tell you, nothing has been discussed until the Jedi talks about it. So it doesn't matter when it happened. It's not been discussed until I talk about it. And so we're not really concerned with time frames, and we don't really get into that. We can't be. That's just not our ministry. We can't be involved in that. You feel me? I feel like this angle is off some type of way. I feel like I need to move the camera over. That's what's happening. Bismillah. Because you guys are not getting the lamp. And I always try to give you the lamp. This is why overhead lighting is no good for you guys, everybody. I've talked about lighting, but there's an example. You don't want overhead lighting. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's nobody's friend. Don't ever do it. Unless you're in like an SOS hostage video or something like that. Don't ever do overhead lighting. All right. That's a little bit better. So the thumbnail and the subject that I put up for the title of the video, you guys know I'm not good at titling videos. But this is certainly my lead issue that I want to talk about. There's also, it's not that old. And when it happened, I was going to bring it, but it revisited me. There's a case of a white devil cop that stole this brother's money, like thousands of dollars, was trying to steal his money. There's a whole thing with that. Also want to get into the Jewish DNA. Do I have sound? Jewish DNA. Do I have sound? Okay, I don't love it, but I do have sound. Also, the Azerbaijan plane crash. And it got ahead of me because I wanted to rush to that story, but I wanted to be live. I didn't want to do a recorded video because I was going to proclaim it was shot down. Now they're admitting that it was shot down. So I had thoughts about that. Also, some more on Fat Joe's fat ass. And also, I want to talk about, there was a specific issue with Asian hate that I have some video I want to show you, and also some video with regard to this guy who recently came onto my radar, Keith Lee. Apparently everybody on earth knows him except for me. So that's fine. But I begin tonight with this issue of this shooting, this terror attack that happened in New, or- New Orleans. And then there was also an event in Vegas. I always tell you guys, whenever you have an anomaly, you can have anomalies, but only one, and every once and again. But when you have a big event and you start having anomaly after anomaly after that's the stench, the footprint of conspiracy. If you don't know what an anomaly is, an anomaly, to put it in just basic terms that a 3-year-old can understand, an anomaly is something that is extraordinary and uh, noteworthy, out of place, remarkable, um, even fantastic it can be, but it's rare. It's rare. It's rare. It's almost like finding a 4-leaf clover. Or let's say you go to Vegas or you go to Atlantic City, you walk into the casino, and the first slot you walk up to, you win the jackpot. That in itself is an anomaly, but it's not. Um, it's not a nefarious anomaly because the machines are there for you to win potentially, and so it's there are odds of how of how many per thousand or million people that would pull that slot machine that would actually win the jackpot. So just for you to win it is anomalous, but it's not suspicious. But now you win the jackpot, then you go to the slot next to it, and oh my God, you hit the jackpot. Now we're into anomaly because that's extraordinary. It's remarkable. It's fantastic. It's unusual. Now you go to across the casino someplace, or even to another casino across the street. Walk in, the first slot you hit the jackpot. Now security is standing behind you because they understand what I understand, and that is you're into an anomaly now. That it's extraordinary enough to hit one jackpot. Now you've hit three at the right in a row, even at a different casino. That's now we have to investigate because this would not otherwise happen. So it's important that we understand this what an anomaly is. And so this is wrought with anomaly. We also want to interrogate the why of it all, because I always tell you why. One of the greatest thing that ever comes out of the mouth of a child is, why is your picture crooked? Because the camera, it's not going to be a real time though. All right, leave it alone. Don't obsess. Okay, so the why of it. One of the greatest things always comes out of the mouth of a child is why. It's so important. I always cite this because, just as a general principle to live by, always ask the why, because children ask it because they are new vessels on the earth. Everything is new to them, so they have to know why. And I would be concerned if you have a child that doesn't ask why, because everything is new. They get no reference for anything. So everything you tell them why. As soon as they learn the word why and what that will get them, then they ask why. Well, why? So the why of it. Why? You have this event happen right at New Year's. Right at New Year's. And I pulled some video and articles for you on this. And so the timing is interesting. We understand that this dude rented a car or truck. He's from Texas, but he's in New Orleans. Not anomalous in and of itself, but it gets into anomaly. But here's the thing now. There's where he drove through to run over these people and shoot them would normally have a barrier. But miraculously, on this night, at this moment, the barrier is not down or is not up. It's anomalous. And how would he have known that? Then they also say that which I couldn't verify that video because it's just somebody on a bicycle and you don't see them or their point, you just see their point of view. So I don't like to put anything in the cake that I can't prove the ingredients to. You understand? Because then that gets into you blow a story up. You know how stories run away because people start telling different versions of stuff and stuff gets in that didn't even happen. So I don't do that. This is also concerning to me because I am a Muslim. And certainly since 2001, there is a concerted effort by these demons to villainize Muslims and Islam. And okay, come there first, then go there. All right. When we look at what's happening in Gaza, know that this is about Islam for the white devils. You understand? It's never been about anything for the Palestinians other than you came into my house. That's all it's about for them. You came into my house and now you're attacking and terrorizing me. But for the white devils, it is about religion, because it's important to know this, everybody, because you must understand when you think about religion, you think about Christianity and these nondescript, life-changing groups, you know, organized religion, if you will, all that kind of stuff. I don't care if you don't want to become Muslim, you have a responsibility to be a student of the world in which you live, and certainly the country in which you live. So you should know something about Islam. You should know something about Islam. You should know something because it is such a major part of the world in which you live. And it is taking over. Even in our last sitting, I just randomly Googled, what's the fastest growing religion on the earth? And I held the phone to you, Islam. And as the prophecy has already stated, Islam will be the number one religion on the planet Earth before the Son of Mary returns to the earth. And we're not the ones keeping the numbers. It's the white devil. We know the prophecy. But the white devil is the one keeping the numbers and projecting when Christianity will no longer be the number one world religion. But Christianity is a religion, a group, a thing. Islam is not that. Islam is your governance. It's like having your owner's manual to your car. That has nothing to do with religion. Your owner's manual to your car tells you what this car is, what its standards are, what the parts are, what its maintenance schedule is, all of that. This is what Islam is. This is what Islam in the Quran is. It's your instruction from your maker, who puts the heart in your chest right now, of your life. It is the owner's manual for your life, from day to night and from birth to death. So it governs everything that you do. It's not just something you go to church on Sunday and choir rehearsal on Wednesdays and Thursdays or something. It's not that. Do you understand? So you must know this in order to understand the full context of what we're talking about here, and the modus operandi and the incentives for this demon to be not just attacking the Palestinians in Gaza, but also this attack on New Year's Eve. They want you to believe that this man, that you've heard this term before, has been radicalized. There's no such thing as radicalization, everybody. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as radicalization. And what is radicalization? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, it depends on which tongue is speaking it. If it's a human tongue like you and I, then it's one thing. If it's the forked tongue of this white devil, then it's something else. Do you understand? So they want you to believe in the course of like a few minutes or a couple of days or something that he was radicalized, and that radicalization means that now you're supposed to go and do something violent. But interesting that anytime you have these events, we never see them go and blow up a federal building, attack the White House, the Capitol, some congressperson's child, school, or a congressperson's car, some major corporation like Google or Amazon, something major. It's always, ooh, there was a shooting, or it's some nondescript place where nobody would care really. It's enough to scare you and to up the ire so they can begin to sing their symphony of degrading things and seductive and hypnotizing language, deceptive language, to get you to believe something about a way of life, to excuse their violence and their pre-planned evils. But ask yourself, what I just said was the truth. You know it now, just review in your mind. It's never anything major. And you can't count 9/11/2001 because that was a self-inflicted wound. It wasn't 19 people with box cutters. Go and watch my video here on the channel, my 9/11 video. It's the most comprehensive video for our people done by anyone, period. And that's why I even did it, because I just had started watching YouTube. Really, I've been on YouTube watching, but I didn't really know what YouTube was. I didn't know it was channels. And I don't know what I thought it was, but the point is that I would see people, and then there were real serious documentaries and stuff like that about the event, but I didn't see no Black people really doing anything. And so I just thought, this needs to be, I need to talk about this. I need to lay this out for our people. There needs to be a Black voice on this. And who better than the Jedi? So I did that, and I take you from beginning to end, so that when you are done watching that video, you're an absolute expert, literally, on everything that happened that day. You will be the smartest person in the room. There is no question. You will be the smartest person in the room, because you can talk about not only motive and how that relates to events. You could talk about pre-events. You could talk about the Pentagon at length. You could talk about the actual Twin Towers at length. You can talk about Building 7. A lot of people know about Building 7. That's why there's literally a website called buildingwhat.com. Because when you say to people, it was also Building 7, they go, building what? So they literally went and made a website called buildingwhat.com. Because Building 7 is the smoking gun. It's 47-story, steel reinforced, modern building. And it was not hit by an airplane. And before 9/11/2001, no steel reinforced structure, hear this, no steel reinforced structure has ever collapsed due to fire in the history since Allah said be. Had never happened before that day or since. But yet, on that day, we're to believe that 3 buildings in just New York alone went down due to fire. You see? So you can't use that. You can't use that. So I'm saying, I'm challenging you to come up with a so-called terror attack that has happened, particularly here in America, but we could start speculating around different places around the earth. But particularly here in America, you've never had an event that did anything significant. You had the couple that shot up something in San Bernardino a few years ago. You had the underwear bomber. You had the shoe bomber. All unsuccessful, by the way, just a scare tactic. We've had various scares and levels of security threat alert and stuff like that, but it's always been nothing. It's been stuff like this. Some guy rents a truck and goes and, oh my God, just randomly decides to shoot people. There's no real target there. If you're a radical anything, that means you cross every T and dot every I. We agree. So if you tell me, listen, I'm a professional tennis player, like I'm Wembley ready. But then I say, yeah, Serena Williams and Venus, they were such, and you don't know who they are. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. You don't know what love is, and I don't, but I know what the term I know what the term in tennis. You don't know what love is, so you're not. Do you understand? You don't even know what outfit you're supposed to wear for tennis. You don't even know where Wembley is held. You're not crossing T's and dotting I's. So, and look at the look of the guy. He is black, quotation, but they needed you couldn't have me. They couldn't have a picture of me or like, you know, Idris Elba or just some regular looking, African person. They needed him to be, you see his hair grade. You saw what that looked like. Because psychologically you're supposed to be tying yourself, because remember, Israel has lost the propaganda war with their bullshit. They've lost it. Nobody feels the same about Israel or Jews that they felt before October 7th, that they want to sing like a symphony every 5 minutes. October 7th is supposed to be an excuse for everything. I gained weight. It's October 7th. It's October 7th. I can't find my keys. October 7th. Look, my cat got out. It's October 7th. I mean, now that all fell flat and failed because of the advent of the internet and mass communication and information being available. And you don't have to wait on legacy media to tell you what to think or to tell you the lie of any event. You can now go and find out things for yourself. So they have lost, not are losing, they have lost the propaganda war. No one feels the same way about these people post October 7th that they did before October 7th. I myself have sat here many times on video saying to you, in fact, one of my very first videos out the gate, when I very first discovered, anybody could do a video on YouTube. Here I come. One of my earliest videos, probably when I maybe had 100 subscribers, was called Jews, Judaism, and something are not the same. And I was trying to make the distinction for my people who I know they just wouldn't know that, And I sat many times and said to as Muslims, we consider, Orthodox Jews, we consider them our cousin, and they consider the Muslim their cousin because our faiths are so close and all of that. And I've sat many times and said, we're talking about the Zionists. We're not talking about the Orthodox Jews. We're not talking about we're talking about the Zionists. And I made the distinction between the Zionists and the Orthodox Jews. You can't be a Zionist and be a Jew. That's just not even, you can't have that. To be a Zionist is exactly antithetical to everything that Judaism represents, or does it? Because I myself have found out some things in the last several months about the Talmud that is quite distressing. And I can't sit here and honestly tell you that I know what book is consumed, accepted, and adhered to by the Orthodox Jew. Is it just Torah? Are they into the Talmud? And there's another one that escapes me right now. I see it. I can't say it. All knowledge is with Allah. So for me, the Jedi, me, only me, you do what you want. For me, I'm over all of them. All of them. And even because you all know that a few years ago, when there was, because there's always been these white demons attacking the Palestinians since before you and I were born, unless you sit up here and you was born before 1948, you feel me? And so there had been yet another, because there's never not something happening where they're provoking and murdering and killing and oppressing. This was during Ramadan that particular year, and they had gone into the Al-Aqsa Mosque and they had released flashbang grenades and tear gas and stuff in the mosque during Friday prayer, during the holiest time on earth for Muslims, and that is during Ramadan. And I'd had it. So I literally just opened up my phone and said, synagogues near me. And I started calling until somebody answered. Finally, somebody answered, one of the ones I called, and I ended up speaking with this Rabbi Ralph Resnick. And I let you guys hear my phone conversations with him and everything. And I just played dumb because I just want to see what he's going to share with me, you know. But I mention him now because after this latest attack broke out on 7th October, he doesn't take my calls. You know, I've called him many times, left messages, I've texted him. Like, it's no question, you feel me? And so I'm over all of them because it's like this. It's like you go into, there's a recall, let's just say. There's a recall on spinach or something. You kind of be over spinach, all spinach for a minute. You wouldn't care what brand is recalled. Like, I just heard spinach is recalled, so I'm just kind of over all of it. That would most likely be your point of view. Do you understand? Or you go into a restaurant and you see one roach. It's just the one, but you're out. You out. Nah, I'm good on this restaurant. I saw one roach. I'm good. You know, or even just a hair in your food or something. So this is that for me. I'm not parsing out the same way I do with white people. I don't parse them out. It's all of them. And with these people, they're just white people too, but it's all of them. That's for my sanity. That's what what feels like righteousness to me, and what is true. That's what's true. You know, the whole time they've been trying to separate out Netanyahu, like it's just the Netanyahu government, like as if it's not the people in Israel. It's all of them, because there's many videos you could go and watch where you see them, different people doing different videos. So they're not even the same content producer, where they're literally asking these Israelis just on the street. Some of them speak English, some of them don't, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're from different parts of the world, but they're all there. And they ask them about what they think about the Palestinians. They don't give a damn. From little kids to grown-ass elderly people. They all hate them. And they were only protesting in the street because they wanted their hostages back. That's the only reason why they were mad at Netanyahu, because they wanted their hostages back. Had nothing to do with Palestinians being murdered. They don't care. They don't care, dude. So there's no innocence for me there. Just like when it all broke out, they were like, there's no innocence in Gaza. There's no innocence. They're high-ranking people were on television saying this. Well, that was projection. So I mention that because to come back to our point, that the whole purpose for one of the things that I am insinuating for you with regard to this whole alleged New Year's thing is because everybody's hating on them now. So let's now bring you back to hating Arabs and Muslims and Islam. We got to bring that hate back. Don't hate us, the evildoers, the most evil fucking people ever lived. No, not us. Hate them. So this serves that, but there's problems with it. So let us begin. And this article I pulled, you guys know I normally pull more than one article. I always tell you when you pull reference on anything, always pull several sources. But this one just went on and on and on. I just thought, I think I got everything here I'm going to need. So haven't read it, but I think it's going to serve what we need. Let's see, percent. And this is going to be called I think that's it. Okay, I need you to go up though. Can we go up? Okay, I hope I'm sharing now. Nandi, I think I can't see it first. Nandi, shout out to you. Happy New Year to you, Nandi. Also, don't forget to thumbs up the stream, everybody. Give it a thumbs up. And let's just do better in this year than we did in any other year. You see, let this be the year of unity and cooperation for African people. Let us take control of our relationships with one another, everybody. So not just for me, but when you are on social media, support the people that are on there. It doesn't cost you anything to thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And if you got it like that, you can donate to any of their causes or whatever you want to do. But let us put ourselves first and let us start. You know, one of the things that came out of this Fat Joe thing, and I hope it will last, is that it looks like that they could shut Fat Joe down. I would love to see that happen, because I know that our people have no faith. As a group, as a culture, you are not a people with faith. You only have faith in something that's already guaranteed. You never just put your faith in what you don't know yet. You don't invest faith until it's happened already, and then you claim you were faithful and you weren't. There's a lot of that going on, a lot of it. So don't do that. Don't be a victim of that. You understand? Let us put our people first. And I was going to say, because I hope this could be successful against Fat Joe's fat ass, because I've told you about the snowball effect with our people. You know, black people want to stand back and wait till somebody else do it, and then here they come after it's already something. Now they, you know, instead of just being like, I'll light the match, I'll be the one that sparks the fire. Let me do it. Do you understand? A quick story for you, because it's relevant to what I just said. I was out earlier today, and I was going to present for you all something re-sparked my desire and my interest in this whole issue of black or beauty, beauty supply, beauty industry, just beauty, as it relates to us being huge consumers, particularly African women, and we don't own any of it. And then you saw the Good Hair movie that Chris Rock did and so forth. So that came back up in me. And I just thought, I want to do something because I have new information. And ironically, the retail store, the store that I used to own, that I had my retail store in, there's now a sister that's there with a beauty supply. And I wanted to do a documentary. I wanted to interview several black business owners that I know. And she is one of them. Anyways, I mention it because I that wasn't why I was even over there in that particular area. I was over there to go to the store, but I saw her car pull up, and so I went and you know, you pull in, you're going to park here. I'm standing on the sidewalk thing in front of the store, waiting for her to get out of the car. I don't know, this isn't her. This is one of her daughters. I'm standing there waiting, and I hear her say, why are you standing at my car? So I just kind of ignored it, because I just thought, anybody could be standing here because this isn't the only business that's here. So I'm sure that wasn't for me, type thing. And finally, she gets her dumb ass out of the car, and she was like, you need to move away from my car. I was like, oh, I thought you were your mother. You're not I was looking for your mother. I didn't know you were not your mother. She goes, you need to move back from my car before I tase you. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I live a very righteous life, everybody, and righteousness is always my first foot. And I do not strike women. I have no record of ever striking a woman. I come from a family mostly populated with women. I got 5 sisters. I ain't struck nobody. But this bitch could have got it today. She brought an instant anger out of me that I didn't even know that I even had. I was instantly to violence. Would have done anything to her and not felt a damn thing about it at all. That's how I felt. But it also hurt me because of what I just said to you. So let's make this the year that we as African people start putting African people first. Period. Let's do that. Now, so now this is a sibling of the attacker unravels decent unravels descent into radicalization. Again, there's no radicalization, everybody, but I cut myself off too. The other thing I want to say about radicalization and them, why they're also using this to try and deflect you now from your righteous disdain for all things Israel and Jews. They want you to shift your focus back to Arabs, Islam, and Muslims. And why this is also why it's also a big problem, and why they love Israel so much is because I've already explained to you in previous pieces that this is Israel. You don't have to fly to Northeast Africa. This is Israel. They've infected this place like a virus, which is what they were trying to do for many decades, long before you and I were born, where that was their modus operandi. That's what they were trying to do in Eastern Europe. And if you went and watched the freedom or slavery speech that I directed you to, that's in English by Hitler, one of the principles that he's laying out is that they take over all your major corporations, they take over your banking, they take over your government and everything. Like, they are now the infrastructure, and they stick together and they keep their money together and all that stuff. That's important to know, because when you hear them say they've been kicked out of over 100 countries, you have to go, why? There's that why again. Well, why? And nobody's ever told us why. They've just used it as a sympathy piece. Like, oh, they've just been so persecuted. But why? I'm from Southside Chicago. When you come home and you tell my grandmama something happened, they say, what did you do? Because they want to make sure you got clean hands first. What'd you do? Or if it's just amongst us siblings. Jamila did such and such. She won't let me such and such. What did you do? You see? So what did they do? Well, that's what they did. But they were successful here. So they want that, because you're talking about a region, Northeast Africa, the Middle East, which doesn't exist, but it's Northeast Africa. You're talking about a region now where Islam is pervasive. And in Africa, what you know is just regular Africa. It's not just pervasive, but then also your Christianity is not like it is here in America. Like, I know right now and can introduce you to some Arab Christians whose Bibles are in Arabic, who greet me, Salaam Alaikum, who the name they call for the divine is Allah. The name they call for Jesus is Isa, alayhi salam, and so forth. Their way of everything is different. So you don't just have Muslims, you've got Christians, and you have people who follow Judaism. Holy people, righteous people of any stripe are a threat to white evil. A threat, because they make so much of their legacy and generational wealth off of forbidden things, off of evil, and off of things that the divine has said, this is not prescribed for you. Do you understand? So, and because their God is money, you take that away, they got no reason to live, and they start throwing themselves out of windows and things like that. Do you understand? So you have to understand the pathology and the connection. I always tell you, nothing just happens. Nothing just becomes. Everything has a point of origin. A point of origin. You yourself were a sperm seed at some point. You see? And then your father had to meet your mother, and they had to like each other, and they had to smash. And so that's all part of the pathology. Then millions of sperm, one had to be good enough for that egg. Not you. Get your ass. To that one. Do you understand? And then you were an Allah, and then you became a fetus, and then you became, you understand, and so forth. You didn't just, I'm here, like, that's it. Everything has a point of origin. Where does it begin? Where is it begin? So You have to know the pathology. So they, as time goes on, and you see the things that are happening in Africa now, white people as a whole, but the bottom feeders are so busy hating on you and I and thinking they're superior, and they're not, and thinking they're superior, that they're not paying attention to what the big picture is. That their whole entire race is about to be crushed, and their whole way they understand existence and their place in it is all about to change. It's all about to change. And so Islam plays a big part of this, because without without with the presence of Islam, all the pork industry goes away. That's a billion dollar industry, just pork alone. Pork goes away and all of its products. So you don't just have to be running a pig farm, and selling bacon and pork chops. There's so many derivatives, things that they use from pork. All of that trillions of dollars goes away. Your entire alcohol industry goes away. I saw many years how they make tequila, this plant. I saw some Latinos. It was some show, CNBC or something, and they were showing how it's tequila made. And so think about all those farming jobs that go away. You understand? And the distilleries and the breweries and all that. That all goes away. All of it goes away. Monsanto, all of your GMO and pesticides, all that stuff goes away, because this is forbidden by God, the one that created you and me. It all goes away. You can't have any more franchises of Real Housewives. That's all going away. That goes away. Jails and prisons go away, everybody, because it is forbidden for you to strike another Muslim. Period. And even if the person's not a Muslim, as a Muslim, you're not allowed to start nothing. You definitely finish it, because it's not no turn the other cheek. But you're not allowed to start anything. So you're going to have a high ratio of peace. Oh my God. Homelessness goes away, because the divine has said that charity is the right of the poor upon the rich. And he's told the rich that you're supposed to give 2.5% of your excess wealth. You're not just sitting on money. So no more homeless. Damn it. That all goes away. So all the psychotropic drugs of you need to be this because you're strung out and you're on the street. You've all seen the people with the overgrown beard, and they're dirty and nasty and they're on something and all that. They got them in every McDonald's across the country and everybody's city. We all have it. We all have it. That all goes away. I'm trying to show you how radically different existence will be with the onset of Islam. These upside down deals that they do with everybody, quite frankly, how they've bullied their currency over on the world when it's not worth a damn. Listen, while you and I are just trying to enjoy life, since before you and I were born, white people are sitting around conniving and scheming, always on something that's not holy or righteous and definitely not good for humanity. Do you understand? So Islam is a major threat to them. They will tell you it's anything, just like they did Gaddafi. They told you Muammar Gaddafi, go and really learn what Libya was before they murdered Muammar Gaddafi. You will weep. You'll weep. You'll weep. In fact, I have a piece that I'm going to show you with regard to that, because I just want to show you. I don't need the whole piece. I just want to show you just the things, just some of the things, and there's more, and you'd be like, dang, I'm telling you, you'll lose your head. But let us begin now. So they're saying that now there's a sibling. I don't know this. This is new. I'm learning it as I'm reading it now. You guys know that's my style. With a video, I usually try and see. I have to watch it because do I need all of it? Articles, you just scan to the bottom, just see how long it is. Like I say, this one, I didn't get to the bottom because it just kept going and going and going. Obviously, we're not going to do that. But that's the only thing I would do with the articles. Just scan them, see if the title is saying what I think is part of what I'm discussing. And then I get to do my dissertation in real time. Okay, throw that one out. We don't need that one. And And is that the FBI are investigating Wednesday's New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans, where suspect Shamsuddin Jabbar plowed into dozens of revelers along the famed Bourbon Street, killing 14 people before being fatally shot by police. They also claim, I'm getting ahead of myself, but not so much. They also claim that there was an ISIS flag, everybody. Suddenly ISIS, just ISIS. And this would be your first incarnation, allegedly, of ISIS on American soil since they created it. Know this. On my very first channel, my 23,000 subscriber channel that got shut down by these demons, early on when they first introduced this whole ISIS crap to us, I brought you videos showing you that, because they were sloppy then, we saw that they had American tattoos. We saw things, and I can't remember everything that we did, but we proved that this was American. Either we want to say military, it doesn't matter, just something American. It could be Blackwater, could be, some other mercenary group, whatever. But it's not Arabs, and ISIS is just a black ops, probably with Israeli Mossad. We have to insinuate them now, and we mentioned the CIA and the FBI and things like that, because as I've said to you, this is Israel. It's not a separate entity. This is the same. There's no difference. You live in Israel right now. I'm not being hyperbolic. You live in Israel right now. That's where you're at. You live in Israel. You live in Israel. And so they mentioned that this ISIS flag. Who saw the ISIS flag? No one saw it. 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 I'm not sure how this is laid out, y'all. Like, I'm not understanding. Is this it on the left? This is the header you saw with the thing here now. But where's that article? I'm thinking this is it on the left, because this one is car sharing company provides new statement in wake of New Orleans. That's not, no. First lawsuit filed against New Orleans over failure to secure Bourbon Street after terror attack. We'll come back to that. Amazon offering full support for employee injured in New Orleans terror attack. Feds return to Houston home of New Orleans terror suspect. Well, we'll start with that one then, because there were some things I want to discuss about that as it relates to my prosecution, to tell you that there's something that is bullshit about this. And I hope they're going to mention in this, because they claim they found explosives at his home. But so you didn't take explosives with you? You just decided to drive a car down the street and shoot people and crash it? But it was it's just, they just needed something to get out there. And the timing, New Year's Eve, when you're totally distracted, you're just thinking about getting drunk, and maybe you're making New Year's resolutions, and you're with friends and this and the third, and poof, let's give you something fantastical. And I can get you to do anything when I get you when I strike fear. Get you to do anything. For maximum psychological effect, this is when it needs to happen. And New Orleans, because that's something everybody remember. Everybody knows New Orleans. Doesn't matter where you live in the country. Everybody knows it. So it's a place that's easily called up. You understand? It's right up there with how I tell you every assassin in the history of ever, they always give you 3 names. You always get their first, middle, and last. It's like a song. You understand? It's like a song, because as a musician, one thing, and forget me just being a musician, what psychiatrists and psychologists will tell you is that, and you know this if you're a parent, you put, and teachers, sometimes you use song to teach. You retain it better if it's in a song, you know? And so it's that same idea of a song. It's striking the same brain center. John Hinckley Jr., Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth, and so on. You see, you know it as if there's somebody in your family. So, why did I just say that? I won't know. Anyways, so okay, fine. So the FBI returned to the Houston home of Shamsuddin Jabbar. I wonder if that's a typo. Din Jabbar, not Bin. Anyways, on Friday, where they found bomb-making material, authorities said. Now, just a second. It may seem like a little thing to you, but it's not. They returned there on what? Friday. They're claiming this is a terror attack by some radical Islamist dude. And they go to the house on Friday. That's their opening sentence of this particular article. Friday is the day of worship for Muslims. That's when we go to the mosque for Friday prayer. So they decided to go on Friday. The FBI returned to the Houston home of Shamsud on Friday, where they found bomb-making materials, authorities said. Agents initially cleared the property and left it unattended overnight before returning. Why are they saying that? Agents initially cleared the property, like it's all good here, and left it unattended overnight before returning, period. That's a very, very suspicious sentence, everybody. Do you know why? Do you get it already before I say it? Because and I don't know what the aim is here, but they're saying that it was cleared. Now, when it's cleared, that means there's been a thorough search already. A thorough search. All clear. Breonna Taylor gets shot. They go after the initial event where they break in and they murder her, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, these now demons are going to come in and check every room and every place, and it's all clear to let all the team know we're good. There's nothing dangerous here, and now we can just kind of turn the place over if we need to or whatever. So, and it left it unattended. It said that initially cleared the property, cleared it. This is a terror attack, everybody, by some radical Islamists. And at some point, they didn't know if there was one person, if there was more. They cleared it. So there would have been a real scrutiny going on. They cleared it. I can't stress this enough because I think I know where this is going. They cleared it and left it unattended overnight before returning. Huh? So they didn't find it whatever day they were there that we don't know. But when they returned on Friday, lo and behold, they find bomb-making material. Shamsud had been living in the mobile home prior to the incident. On Friday, authorities blocked off a road near the neighborhood, and the gate into Shamsud's home was closed off. One vehicle was towed from the property, the report said. Quote, "He just moved here, I think, a year ago," end quote. A local resident named Omar told Fox. Quote, he is rude, mean, never talked to no one. That's what I know, end quote. Just a second. This is tricky. Quote, he just moved here, I think, a year ago, end quote. a local resident named Omar told Fox Digital, period. Now, quote, from who? He is rude, mean, never talk to no one. That's what I know, end quote. But who are you quoting? You see, you're supposed to assume that Omar is still speaking, but anyone who knows anything about report writing, journalism, and things like that knows that that's improper. It's meant to be deceptive. We don't know if Omar said it. And they give you Omar's name, which is also anomalous because they normally, a witness said, a local resident named Omar, because they're trying to establish now another name for you that's not Jenny or Bob or Susan. Do you understand? Omar. Ooh. And so after that period, he was rude, mean, and blah, blah, blah. That's what I know is meant to say that this guy is saying disparaging things about Shamsud. You understand? Do you understand if you don't understand, please type that you don't understand so that I can help you understand. It's very crafty, everybody. It's very crafty. This is why the Jedi speaks. This is why. This is why. This is why. On Friday, the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives confirmed the discovery of, quote, precursory chemicals, end quote, at Shamsud's residence. Precursory chemicals. Who's ever heard of a precursory chemical? Class, anyone? Bueller? Huh? So this was also meant to be disparaging, but it's also meant to, especially that second to the last short paragraph, was specious and evil. So it's meant to set up it's an overkill really of the assassination of the character. You see, because anytime that anybody that's not white does something, white people always try and make it seem worse than anything that's ever been done when they are the authors of all things evil and nobody can top their evil. You see, this is another example of that. Again, consistency, knowledge converging, everybody. You have to take the sum total of things that you understand in life as one course. There's too much compartmentalizing going on. That's why you walk around confused and you don't really understand what's going on. And you're able to be told what to think. Consistency in thought, but you have to seek knowledge consistently so that you have several veins of information. And then when you have knowledge converging, this is that for me. This putting the Omar there is not accidental and probably untrue even. But we needed Omar, who said he moved in a year ago. I think a year ago. So you wouldn't have been buddy-buddy with somebody if they just moved there a year ago, especially if it's somebody that works a lot. And what we think we understand so far is that this guy was, he worked a lot. He was we're going to find out. Hopefully they'll mention it. But this person just give a review like that? Nah. And if his name is Omar, and if the insinuation he's supposed to be a Muslim, he wouldn't say anything bad about this brother anyway. I mean, there's so many problems with this. I could do another 20 minutes just on that, but we're going to move on. Because I want to get to the first video. I don't think we need this. They were identified. That's fine. But that's going to become important because of a video that I do know that I have coming. In fact, let's go to that as this. Since they are now citing more victims, let's go directly to this one. Because they were trying to put a Jewish angle to it. That's when I was like, this is the article. I don't care what else happens. Because I was already knowing what I opened up telling you. And that is that they are trying to deflect all of the smoke that people feel about this illegal land heist called Israel. They trying to switch the sympathy back to them by giving you something that has to do with Arabs and Muslims. Because telling you Hamas is hiding behind everybody's mama is just not working anymore now. Oh, they were under the toilet. They were under the shoe. We saw them. It's not working. Also, I want to get into this because this is part of my prosecution. The video that I saw, and I don't know if it will be in this, but the guy literally drove right past a police car with flashing lights that was just sitting there. Like, you literally had to not make sure you didn't turn too soon. You would hit the police car, the police SUV, and just goes in there. No, woo, to be like, you can't drive in there. None of that. You see, that's an anomaly. That's an anomaly. The cop is literally sitting right there. Let's see if this is the video. New Orleans barricade oversight. Because anytime they do some shit, it was a blunder. It was incompetence. Oversight. You understand? It's never just like, nah. You understand? It's like what I've given you in the past. White people these people in high places, they're never fired. They step down. So-and-so stepped down. They stepped down. So, you know how in our community, especially brothers, they'd be like, oh, I had to get laid off from my job. Niggas be like, you know, I had got laid off from my job. They weren't laid off. They ass was fired. Y'all know somebody. I had got laid off from my job. They was fired, dude. They was fired. But we're not mad because that's that their equivalent of that is step down. You feel me? So you need to just start saying, I stepped down from my job. You feel me? You was working at, I don't know, McDonald's. You understand? You got fired, say, I stepped down. You feel me? Step down. You step down. So let's see this now. All we need is a visual, because I do want to see if I'm going to see that visual. Of him going right past the damn cop. Okay, what's happening?
Let's get right to Chanley Painter with the latest on the New Orleans official. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is pointing fingers for what he calls excuses from New Orleans, saying this about the mayor, LaToya Cantrell, quote, I've held my tongue long enough. Her lack of leadership is an embarrassment. I'm a little angry at the fact that some things in that French Quarter we've been trying to do for the city of New Orleans will not be distracted by outside commentary and welcomes everyone to join the positive efforts of the unified command partners. Meantime, President Biden updating reporters on authority metro pickup truck flying up Rubin Street now on New Year's morning, leaving dozens injured and 14 dead.
And I'm not going to buy that that's an ISIS flag in the back of that car, because they would be salivating to show you this ISIS flag, everybody. That'd be their leading shot on every report, and it would be in every print, everything. And we're just not seeing the ISIS flag, just not seeing it.
Was involved in the attack. They've established that the attacker was the same person.
He doesn't know where he's at. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to see what this dust up was. Uh-oh, damn it. One of those damn, you know, when the video did its thing, it took us. Okay, we came back. All right. I hate these videos. Can I just say that right now? There was some shade there with the sister. I need to know what that's about.
Let's get right to Chanley Painter with the latest on the New Orleans terror attack. Hi, Chanley.
Hey, Todd and Ashley. So Louisiana is what he calls excuses from New Orleans city leaders as to the missing barricades at the entrance of Bourbon Street, saying this about the mayor, LaToya Cantrell, quote, I've held my tongue long enough. Her lack of leadership embarrassment. I'm a little angry at the fact that some things in that French Quarter we've been trying this, quote, The city of New Orleans will by outside commentary and welcomes everyone to join the positive efforts of the Unified Command partners. Meantime, President Biden updating reporters on what authorities are learning about the man who drove a pickup truck flying an ISIS flag through Bourbon Street, now all news morning, leaving dozens injured and 14 dead.
We have no information that anyone else is involved in the attack. They've established that the attacker was the same person who planted the explosives in those ice coolers in 2 nearby locations. We're also continuing to investigate whether or not there's any connection between the New Orleans attack and the explosion in Las Vegas. As of now, they've just been briefed. They have not found any evidence of such a connection thus far.
And these new Fox photos, this is a glimpse inside the killer's home located in a majority Muslim Houston, Texas neighborhood, where you can see multiple copies of the Quran, a book on Christianity, and a book about teaching children about Islam. Those living nearby telling Fox they were shocked to learn about their neighbor's actions in the Bourbon Street terror attack.
Yeah, because it didn't happen.
Chanley Painter live for us this morning.
And
Chanley,
the other
thank
thing
you.
that you have going on here, everybody, is you don't have. This is what happened. This the person did it, and he's dead already. So that's what happened. It happened. You missed it. It happened. We don't know if that was even the dude. We don't even know. And we also know, I brought you several pieces here on the channel, even on this channel. These masks they have now, everybody. I've cited them during to show you that all these outrageous numbers that they give us every holiday, new Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. It's all 100 people were shot in Chicago, 90 people were shot in Baltimore, 50,000 people were killed in Atlanta. No, what we just wait for the holiday to just start killing each other? That never sat right with me. So one of my videos here on the channel, I did a forensic piece on it, where I take you through. It was another incident in Baltimore. I take you through every single one of these shootings, and I prove that every single victim is in the state of running, getting away, or cowering in some sort of a way. I cite that because of what I'm telling you about these masks. I've shown you the masks. The masks, that they're so complete, it doesn't even look like a mask. You could be any color, any gender, in anything. And even there's, I brought you video with that of some lady. She's with the CIA. She's in either Clinton or Bush, one of the presidents. She's literally sitting in the Oval Office talking to him, briefing him. And the whole point was for her to sit there and have a whole conversation with him, and he have no idea this is not who he's talking to. And then she takes it off and shows him how amazing these masks are and everything like that. So this could even be that. We don't know. We don't know. This is just, they're telling you something happened. New Orleans City Council to launch probe into deadly terror attack. Maybe. I want to get to the other thing. Pentagon says no overlap between the New Orleans or the Vegas thing. We want to see this one now. What lie are they telling? The Pentagon was asked on Friday about the suspects plural in separate New Year's Day attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas about their military connection. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh was asked if Shamsud, who was 42, was radicalized while serving the U.S. Army before referring the question to the FBI. So they literally print that with a straight face as if it's a real thing. We just ask, did he have lunch before he was in the, okay, was he radicalized? Oh, like radicalized. And apparently you're not radicalized unless you're a Muslim. I'm a black man from south side of Chicago. Have lived my entire life in this bitch with these demons every damn day, and I'm not radicalized. I'm not radicalized, so I'm not. Okay, all right. Just again, I don't. I'm checking. All right. She also referred, but you see how they went by. Was asked if Shamsud was radicalized while serving in the U.S. Army. No, he was actually radicalized like 2 weeks after. Okay, thanks. We'll send that down the hall. You see how casual they're being about it? She also referred questions about whether Shamsud and Las Vegas suspect Matthew Allen Livelsberg, everybody, Livelsberg, Spielberg, huh? I think you hear me talking. I think I'm coming in. Who served in the army as a Green Beret to the military. I'm not tracking, and I think the FBI said this, that there's a connection between the two events. I'm not tracking that there's an overlap in their service record, Singh said. That being said, I would refer you to the Army just to speak more to that. But at this moment, I'm not tracking that they had an overlap at any time. Tracking? Did Singh just learn that word? Is that the new word of the week? I'm tracking. I'm just not tracking. I want to get to the Zionist bullshit. Spoke with families. Nobody cares. He doesn't even remember he talked to the families. All right. Biden was never there. He thinks he was. It was probably his stand-in. We'll come back to this connection. I think that's got some teeth to it. There it is. Diplomat says diplomat. Who? Diplomat says New Orleans terror attack injured Israeli reservists on leave from Hamas war. They had to get Israeli and Hamas in there for you, bitch. They damn it, here it is. They had to have it. They had to have it. And then look at the person they use. See the picture? Here's something else I want you to notice, everybody. While you see this ugly as fuck ass picture. Know this, and remember that the Jedi taught you this, or opened your eye to this. Once you start noticing, it could be commercial, it could be a television show, it could be a news interview, but you'll notice after now I'm ringing the bell for you. They always make sure they get the profile of somebody that's a fucking Zionist Jew. It's a thing. It's gratuitous even. That's why I even know it, because I'm like, they're doing it again. They do that. This has been over years of observing this. So here's my findings. And literally it's that. Now, some of it is an arrogance, because by now people that weren't paying attention to these people have a sense of who they are since 7th October now. But I don't know if it's like it's a thing where and to accompany that, they always find some way to mention that they're Jewish. 100%. 100%. They always find a way to make sure they weave that into the conversation so that's known. Which is ironic, because if you really were some special people, we would just see you on site and go, oh, you're that. Like you see us. Oh, you're African. Yeah, well, I am. Thank you. You understand. But you have to announce, which means it's not evident. That's with anything. If you have to announce it, that means it's not evident. It wouldn't just be readily known. You understand? There was an old episode of Will and Grace. Now, it's already enough that practically everybody on there is supposed to be some kind of a fucking Zionist. The chick that's one of the central characters, because it's Will and Grace, it's Grace Adler. We know. Will Truman. We know. But still, they went out of their way. There was some actress that was guest starring on there. I don't know who it was. Sandra Bernhard or somebody. Glenn Close. Somebody. But there was this thing with her and Grace, and she said something. She pulled her waistband out. She goes, "Oh, you're Jewish." You know, nah, the whole audience laughed because I'm sure the audience person was like, laugh, you know. They go out of their way. But anyways, I just thought of that when I seen his face, if you want to call it that. But let's hear now how they tie this into this. Go. Sorry about the delay.
Were obviously the terror attack in New Orleans that everybody already heard about by now. And we had that were visiting from Israel, did a trip for a month and a half, and ended up he stumbled by accident to the scene where the attack happened. Both of them injured in different severities. One was injured much more severe with head trauma, internal injuries, and also limb, more moderate with limb injuries, but also some internal damages. The one that is in more crucial situation, they're trying to stabilize. He already been two operations in his head, and we're hoping that the next few days will decide and determine that he's gonna survive it. We hope and pray for that, actually. And the second patient, second injured Israeli, has been through also two different surgeries in his limbs, and he seems much more stable, communicative, and responsive. And we hope and we see much progress over the last 48 hours. They came after a long time being serving as soldiers in Israel in the war, and they got a leave that they can go and just a little freshen up, a little, take their mind out of things, and that was the purpose for them to come here and to travel. They were supposed to end their travel in Florida, meeting their uncle, and again, unfortunately, it didn't happen. But the uncle came to them to visit, and alongside him, the rest of the family flew in from Israel. It took them about 38 hours to come from Israel, but they came, and I saw them yesterday in the hospital, and everybody's.
I had to pause it, y'all. I hope it doesn't betray me. I'm real big on why are you telling me this? Anybody that knows me will tell you. You could be a total stranger. Anybody that knows me, somebody said something to me. Why are you telling? I always have a need to know why. Why am I knowing this? Why am I knowing it? Why are you telling me this? This is what comes up in me now. Why are you telling me this? Because I could draw a scenario under which these Israeli Mossad probably had some hand in this, that they're the ones who now put the explosives in the ice coolers and planted stuff at this guy's address. And I could start painting some scenarios. Why are you going out of your way to talk about these two? And who cares about what faith they are? Again, we're dismissing this because you were born a Jew, like that makes you like as if you're an African person. No. Judaism is a religion. You follow that, then you follow Judaism. I'm an African man first. My way of life is Islam. I am a Muslim. Do you understand? So the list that I went past when I was scrolling down and they were saying all the 14 victims have been identified, and I just like, we'll come back to that if we need it. It's just going to be their name and their age. Why are you telling me this? Because they're so shit-stained that their death is supposed to be more special than the other people that died. And then why did you need to tell us why they came here? Isn't it enough, hey, there was a couple other people that were, why aren't they just in the list with everybody else? Why do you need to highlight separately that these guys were from Israel and they were here and they were injured? And now that you've told me, I don't give a fuck about it at all, because you're making a thing out of it, and I feel some type of way about it. So now I don't care at all. At all. And I'm about to say good. There, I said it. I'm over it. I'm getting worked up now. This has worked me up. This is evil. See it again, everybody.
Excited,
I'll go back
hopeful,
just a little bit, not
different
all the way
surgeries
back.
in his limbs, and he's seen.
Who cares? I'm going back to the beginning just so that you, because I yacked, and I want you to have full contact
Much more stable, communicative, and responsive.
of this
and
evil.
He's, about a little bit over 2 days ago, there were
Like we supposed to care.
the terror attack in New Orleans that everybody already heard about by now, and
Yeah, we already heard about
had
it.
two
What?
locals that were visiting from Israel that ended up going to New Orleans on leave. Basically, stumbled by accident to the scene where the attack happened. Both of them
And
injured.
why are you going to New Orleans on New Year's Eve if you're supposed to be some devout Jew? Because it is for the Jews, it is for the Muslim. We're not seen in those places. Let's say I couldn't go to New Orleans and go to Bourbon Street on a not New Year's Eve or Mardi Gras, where people have fallen out every damn door drunk. I could go down there and just see the place and take pictures of it, but you wouldn't be there as a holy person, even a holy Christian. You wouldn't be there on New Year's Eve or Mardi Gras. So they came all the way from Florida after they came from Israel. Let us all remember that, because that's the most important thing, to go to this. My point is, everybody, I'm being ridiculous and rhetorical, really, because I'm trying to bring home one of the things that I've told you and I hold, that these are not holy people at fucking all. They're exactly the antithesis of everything that is holy and righteous. It's just a masquerade for them. Period. They're not worthy of any type of respect on their religion. Period. Full stop. Done.
And two Israeli
I want you to
tourists.
have full context of what he said without me saying anything. Okay, I promise you shut up. Shut
over
up.
a little bit over 2 days ago, there were obviously the terror attack in New Orleans that everybody already heard about by now, and we had two Israeli tourists, not locals, that were visiting from Israel, did a trip for a month and a half, and ended up going to New Orleans.
I can't help it, everybody. You notice he's got underlighting so that his nose will be more prominent. That's not a mistake. It's on purpose. You got to get up early and stay up late to pull shit over on the Jedi. You just got to do, which means you just will never sleep. And I hope it's still the same. Oh my God, now we lost it. What did I do? I hate this site. Damn it. That's all right. We're going to get it. Inshallah. We'll get it. We'll get it. Because I want to see the video, and then we will read and see what they're saying. But I had to point out that the lighting is meant to highlight the beak. We'll get to the whole clip.
There were obviously the terror attack in New Orleans that everybody already heard about by now, and we had two Israeli tourists, not locals, that were visiting from Israel, did a trip for a month and a half, and ended up going to New Orleans on New Year's Eve. Basically, stumbled by accident to the scene where the attack happened. Both of them injured in different severities. One was injured much more severe, with head trauma, internal injuries, and also limb injuries. The second one, his friend, was more moderate with limb injuries, but also some internal damages. The one that is in more crucial situation, they're trying to stabilize. He already been two operations in his head, and we're hoping that the next few days will decide and determine that he's gonna survive it. We hope and pray for that, actually. And the second patient, second injured Israeli, has been through also two different surgeries in his limbs, and he seems much more stable, communicative, and responsive. And we hope and we see much progress over the last 48 hours. They came after a long time being serving as soldiers in Israel in the war, and they got a leave that they can go and just a little freshen up, a little, take their mind out of things. And that was the purpose for them to come here and to travel. They were supposed to end their travel in Florida, meeting their uncle, and again, unfortunately, it didn't happen. But the uncle came to them to visit, and alongside him, the rest of the family flew in from Israel. It took them about 38 hours to come from Israel, but they came, and I saw them yesterday in the hospital, and everybody's excited, hopeful, and actually thankful for the medical staff for everything that they do and did till now, because they performed beautifully. And so I was in contact with the minute I heard that there were Israeli citizens that were injured. I took a plane from Houston, where the consul general is, and came to New Orleans. I spoke to the federal authorities alongside with other agencies. What we know till now, that it wasn't an attack against Israelis or Jewish people specifically. It was an attack against Americans, against tourists from all over the world, to see how they can, how the perpetrator can inflict as much damage as possible, and unfortunately kill as much people as possible. They were in the line of the ramming path, and they were hit by the ramming quite in the beginning. So it's an unfortunate irony that we face it in the Middle East and Israel day in, day out, all the time, prior to October 7th, but a lot after October 7th. And I think that they definitely did not expect it to have a terror attack in the French Quarter in New Orleans and the New Year's Eve. I read the signs, and when I see,
you see how he went specifically out of his way. It's what I speculated on in my statements before we saw this. I've already made that connection. What did I say at the opening? I said that this is about now all the smoke that everybody's got for this illegal land heist, and everybody in it. They're trying to now change that and give you the brown face, and it's an Arab, and it's Islam, and it's Muslims. Ooh, scary. Ooh, ooh. So you see how? Because I'm asking. That's why I couldn't get through the damn clip. We still got more, but I had to stop it, because I'm like, why are you telling me this? Why is this important? And he's gone even deeper now. He's saying, but this wasn't an attack on Israelis. So is New Orleans a Jewish town? Anybody? Does anybody know? Anybody? We wouldn't even think that. It's not. Do you understand? So why would you even? And then he had to take a special flight once he heard that Israelis were killed. Fuck everybody else that was killed. They meant nothing. It's all about those Israelis. And he comes here and immediately talks to intelligence and people high up. This is exactly what I'm insinuating that it is. It's exactly what I'm insinuating. Not that I'm brilliant. I only know what Allah allows me to know, everybody. I always tell you, you don't know anything. All knowledge is with the divine. At all times, at every millisecond, any insinuation, any detecting, any hunch, knowing your name, anything, it's always with the divine. Anything that you speak and know. If I just say, what's your name? Just that you can say it to me, it came directly from the divine. It allowed you to know it. You don't know anything at all about anything. Always remember that. Let's go on.
read the signs, I'm talking about the actual plaque. When people demonstrate and say globalized intifada, and we say the West is next. So it's important to read that, and it's important to understand that people are not just saying.
We say the West is next. Now, strengthening my insinuation that they could have been the one putting the bombs in the ice coolers, and maybe they wouldn't plant stuff in his house, huh? We say the West is next, because they want now something to happen here. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Vegas is connected to this. There, I said it. Because the idea is to give you events in different places, allegedly not connected, so that you feel what they're feeling. You say, oh, I guess that's why they had to kill 50,000 Palestinians and counting. Don't buy into it, everybody. This is a fork-tongued demon. That's what you're looking at right there. A demon. A demon. A demon is not a fictional thing. This is a demon.
that people are actually rooting and wanting violence, people wanting to kill, people wanting to cause damage and wanting to cause terror. And we see that more and more around the world. We see it happening in the U.S., raising a question: why is it happening right now? What caused this? So nothing new caused this. There's simple hatred that we face in Israel every day for many years, and I think that the West, mainly our greatest ally, the U.S., seeing so much hateful rhetoric, so much demonstrating against the West, against America, against Israel, saying clear that they want to export the violence from the Middle East towards the U.S. And
no one has said they want to export the violence from Middle East to the U.S. No one has said that. It's been over a year since their sacred October 7th. Who right now has heard that phraseology before, that they want to, that anybody stated they want to export the violence from the Middle East to the United States? If you've heard that, type it. Please, for the love of God and humanity and all things holy, type it now. Anyone, if you've heard that, type that. Just, have you heard it? I'll just wait. I'll just wait. No, because no one has heard it. This is propaganda in the moment of confusion and excitement. Let's give you this. Quick, take your panties down. Quick, give me your purse. Quick, there's a fire. Tell me your mother's PIN code. This is that. This is that. In hysteria, you can get people to do anything. Quick, give me your car. Just get out of the car. Quick, quick. You'll do it.
Start happening. I think that the main message that we see from Israel towards the U.S. is just to be firm by any action, by any means necessary. Meaning that if you want to distinguish a fire, you don't distinguish 80% of it. You distinguish 100%, because the other 20% will rise again. That's
to justify that we've killed over, I think it's 50,000 people now in Gaza, and that's just the ones we can count, because there's people under the rubble and all of that, and people missing and on and on. I mean, I've heard numbers of 200,000, everybody, when it's all said and done. So this is what this Zionist pig is there to now try and justify. Because why would I need to know this? Why do we need to know this? Who cares that some Israelis were killed? Nobody cares. It's everybody that was killed. All of it's bad. All of it. Why are you coming now to single out that there was some fucking Israelis and tell us all about their injuries and why they were here and what they had for breakfast? Why?
And will inflict more fire, more damage later. We see in Israel that in order to eradicate terror, we need to focus on it. We need to deal with it. And I've been in communication with the authorities here. They are well aware that they're acting accordingly. The FBI and other agencies are helpful and tremendously assisting us in this time. And I hope that the American people will better understand that we're facing something that is mutual. The threat is mutual. It's not only our part in the world, but it's a global threat. And in this situation, you have to be firm. You have to do anything and everything possible to take out that threat. Well, Houston, the city is a wonderful city, but we saw in recent year there was the information that was disclosed to the public, 2 different arrests of people that crossed the border with the aim of hurting Israelis and Jewish community, also mainly the Israeli consulate in Houston. So we think about it as Israelis because we face it.
So then maybe we should just get you the fuck up out of the country. Since you're such a liability and you're thinking that everybody's coming here to kill you, maybe you should just go back to fucking Israel. Maybe that'll work just for your own safety and your right to exist and all of it, huh?
Every day that for every person you catch, there's people that you don't catch, and then what happens with that possible. So I just want to say thank you very much to the medical staff in Louisiana, the authorities here, and of course the Jewish community that slowing is extremely time, a very difficult time, and of course the injured Israelis, they're here. We've seen them every day coming up with food, helping with lodging, assisting with traveling from one place to another. It's true solidarity. see that from the New Orleans local people, also, of course, from the Jewish community. There is about 12,000 people. It's a very foreign affairs. We will do whatever it takes to support and to help and aid every Israeli in need, no matter where is it, and no matter what happened to it, to him or her. We do it all over the world, and that's part of our role as diplomats.
Or thoughts and prayers out to the rest of the people that were murdered. I doubt there's 3 people on earth that give a fuck about these people anymore. I really doubt it. I doubt it. I even saw that, I don't know what country it was, they're not allowing any Israeli passports into their fucking country. Like, nah, kick rocks. We good. Now, 2 Israelis among the more than 30 surviving victims injured in the New Orleans terror attack are reservists who were granted leave from Hamas war and decided to come to the United States as tourists, as Israeli diplomat, as Israeli diplomat, an Israeli, can't read, I need to go back to middle school, an Israeli diplomat told Fox News Digital. Why do we give a fuck? Why? The why of it. All right. We don't need to read the rest of this. I was just trying to see if it's anything new other than what he said. They were called to serve. They were called on reserve to serve in the current murder genocide. So they participated and took part and contributed like many other Israeli citizens that were called for reserve and again came here to travel. So you're literally left a genocide that the entire world is against, except for your dumbasses, and self-entitled and self-important and self-chosen by God and all of it. You left your genocide to come here. According to this vomit, which probably a lie, 2 of you were almost killed, and we supposed to really give a fuck? Wonder how the woman who I brought you all feels, who her son Ibrahim had been murdered by these demons. And there she was giving thanks and praise to Allah, saying, "This is the soul of my soul. I give back to you," and on and on. It made me weep, y'all. Wonder how she feels about that. But the message there should be understood, everybody. This was a propagandistic piece to, and you're going to hear others that will seem like they're unattached and unrelated and unconnected. Oh, this guy said this over here. This person said this over here. But the message to the American people is supposed to be, see, this is what we're dealing with. That's why we're killing 50,000 people in Gaza. And this stuff is going to happen here now. They're saying they want to export it to the West. For what? No one is saying that. These are the same people. Remember, the Jedi does his work, everybody. I brought you and I gave you homework recently, a couple months back. I've discussed over the years at different times the USS Liberty. You need to go and understand what that's about. It was an intelligence ship, but you must understand this is the same time that Egypt and Israel and I think Jordan and somebody else was fighting. And this was an intelligence ship. It flew the largest American flag ever stitched. The pilots flew so close to the ship that the people on the deck and the people in the planes could wave at each other. They saw the star, the sign of the devil. They call it the Star David. I'm called the Star Devil. They saw the devil's mark, and they knew, oh, those are our friends, until they started firing on it. And now the radio communications have been made available. It was totally communicated. It's totally American. It's American. It's American. And for several hours, they attacked this ship, trying to sink it. Then they brought in submarines with torpedoes and all of it, because they had broke the agreement. Because remember, Israel is the shit starter. Let's be very clear. They are not fucking innocent. They're the shit starters. And here again was something where they started shit. They thought this ship had picked up their evil doing, where they broke a treaty or some ceasefire or something like that. And they were trying to cover up the evidence. by getting rid of this ship. They thought it had gotten their transmissions of their evil act. It hadn't. And when they called the damn Washington, the high joint chiefs and all that, and the president was I think it was Johnson. Don't quote me. Said, I'm not gonna embarrass our number one ally. I think it was Johnson, because we found out he was a fucking Zionist Jew. I'm not gonna embarrass our number one ally Israel over a few dead soldiers. That's a quote, everybody. And so they couldn't sink it. It listed over like major, but it didn't sink. Alhamdulillah. And they towed it to another nearby country, and they spent time trying to patch it up. And so when they got here, it wouldn't look as bad. But most of all, every soldier that survived, they told them to shut up. They weren't to talk about it. And Candace Owens did a piece. You can go to her channel and see. She has a piece where one of the survivors wrote her a letter. And in fact, the video is called A Personal Announcement or something like that. It's a very unique title for a video. I think it's called Personal Announcement. One of the soldiers who's, up there in age and is a survivor had wrote her a letter about this. She opens up her video reading this. She goes, and the author of this video, of this letter, is sitting across from me now. And then they show the camera and you thank you for being here. This is an evil place, everybody. And for Christians out there with this sap love for Israel, you need to burn that shit today. Burn that. Burn it. Burn it. Is the land holy? Yes. That is a holy place. But that country is not holy. This land theft heist is not holy, and either are the people. But that place is holy. That land is holy. It is holy. Okay, hopped on a plane, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think that covers it all now. Family New Orleans shares message of faith and forgiveness. I can't take any forgiveness right now. I just can't. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. But I wanted to show, because there was one video that I did see passed by where this girl, by milli-inches, she doesn't get hit by this, the truck he was driving. They returned to his home. Let's see if there's anything new in the report. No, there's only 19 seconds. There's not going to be any information in that. FBI investigators were seen returning to Shamsud's home as their investigation continues in the Bourbon Street terror attack that shocked New Orleans. Quote, I can confirm FBI Houston is back at the location conducting law enforcement activity, end quote. A spokesperson for the FBI's Houston office said. Strange, they didn't tell us his name, but they told us Omar's name, who allegedly exists. It's the same setup. A statement of event, fact, or person. It's in quotations. And then a spokesperson for the FBI's Houston office said. Not John somebody. You see what I'm saying? That strengthens why I took 5 minutes telling you why they printed Omar there and the bullshit sentence they printed after that. I can't. Sources told Fox News that the Harris County Sheriff's Office bomb squad also returned to the house to collect additional evidence because they just couldn't take it all out at one time after a major terror attack that they're trying to make it seem like. Just had to go back. The FBI and a Houston SWAT team raided Shamsud's home early Thursday morning. But they just told us he went back on Friday. But you were there early on Thursday morning. The team left the front door off its hinges and cracked open, revealing much of the house's living room, kitchen, and glimpses of the bedroom, because that was for the media. You understand? When have you known any law enforcement in this country? You don't have to be savvy or anything. You just live. That's all. You've lived. You've never seen them leave a crime scene and leave it just open for all of humanity. You've never had it happen. More anomaly. From outside the front porch, Shamsu's living room could be seen left in a state of disarray by law enforcement officers who searched the home. A black suitcase lay strewn on the floor, and a dartboard and fake fireplace could be seen on the far side of the wall. That was shade. Next door neighbors described Shamsu to Fox Digital as quiet. Next door neighbor, plural, next door neighbors, not Omar, everybody, who said he moved in, I think, a year ago, but they didn't give his proximity location, just that he was a neighbor. You understand? But next door neighbors, plural, described Shamsud as quiet, respectful, neighbor who was devoted to his Islamic religion, period. A bookshelf sitting near the front door seems to back his religious devotion, containing several copies of the Quran and books about Islam, as well as one about Christianity. This is a mindfuck, everybody. This is a black ops. I don't know if the Shamsu dude really existed. If he did, this was he might have been someone who doesn't know what happened. The car could have been being controlled by remote control. We've proven that. We know that happens. It's not even in question anymore. Done. And the acceleration through there at high speed and then crashing at the end, we've seen that before. This is for the reason that fucking stink-nosed Zionist just spoke. That's what this whole event is about. Because they're about to ramp up more and more of this bullshit here. But like I say, you won't see the White House being attacked. You won't see the Capitol building in Congress. You won't see anything in Washington being attacked. Maybe they'll give you a mailbox bomb or something, like, ooh, it's a terror attack, but it was nothing. Not to say these were nothing, these 14 people, but it was nothing in the stance of terror attack. Know this, it's just like, again, with ISIS. Do you understand that, where is it at now? I forget which country it is. It's in Africa, but I don't think it's just one African country. But all the terrorism goes on, not in the metropolitan areas, not in the city, not in the suburb. No, all the farmers. That's where all the terror is, because they don't want you growing your own seed, so that the white devil can come in and sell you a seed that won't grow if you plant it. That way, they have food superiority over you. If you can't feed yourself, I can control you. We've seen a push by Bill Gates and Monsanto and everybody else. Sadly, William Ruto's bitch ass in Kenya has been falling for it, and some others. My grandfather Museveni just caught on. He admitted it in a speech. Thank you. I didn't know, but that's where all the terrorism is. So that's a specific target. That's a specific aim, an agenda. So if it's really just terrorism here, then why aren't you attacking shit that would matter? Why aren't you attacking the Federal Reserve, the building of engraving and printing in DC or some shit? I mean, some shit that matters, an airport. You feel me? Don't give me Bourbon Street. Don't do it. And they're saying his devotion to Islam. But I saw a report that the members at the mosque said, we don't know him. He doesn't come here for prayer. And by the way, everybody that has an Arab name is not a Muslim. You understand? Like, if you are from a country that has Arabic names and things like that, remember, there's Arabic Christians, Arab Christians, there are Arab atheists. There's anything. A name is just, it's your name. It doesn't mean you're Muslim. It doesn't. And one about Christianity, they said. Several copies of the Quran, as if you need several copies, not understanding. On the opposite side of the house, Shamsud had an elevated desk with a computer set up and a can of pepper spray, as well as several other items. A green military-style backpack also lay near the kitchen. Shamsud was born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and was living in a rented mobile home in Houston. The house is in a neighborhood among several other mobile homes and RVs, just about a 7-minute walk from the Masjid Bilal Mosque and Darul Ahram Islamic School. I'm telling you what this is. I don't even know if we need any more. I think we probably move to our next topic. Material found in Houston home include precursor chemicals for homemade explosives, but no explosive. I love a good press conference to break apart. Let's see what lie they're telling. We'll just see a little bit of this. That way we're triangulating the story from several angles.
Good morning. I am FBI Deputy Assistant Director Christopher Rea. I'm from our Counterterrorism Division at headquarters. I'm also joined by Assistant Special Agent in Charge Alethea Duncan from our New Orleans office, who you heard from yesterday. I'm here to discuss not only the latest investigative information we have here in New Orleans, but I'll also let you know about other investigative activities outside of the state. I first, an horrific attack and their loved ones. 14 innocent victims were killed in this senseless attack, and at least 35 are injured. We cannot ease the grief people in this community and across the nation are feeling at this time, but rest assured, we stand with you and in support of you. All the
resources. Let me come to you and see what you're saying thus far. That I can't read. Oh, Black Beauty is still on. It's still on. It's still on. It's one of the reasons why I'm tired, but it's still on. CJ, shout out to you and Happy New Year. Melanin 100, a big shout out to you and Happy New Year. Quickly, you say blessings, Brother Jedi, and blessings to all my black brothers and sisters, and to all you white devils, kick rocks and with open toes crocs. Free Congo, free Sudan, yes. And by the way, I understand now that it is actually the Arabs that are instigating the thing in Sudan. I have a piece that I'm going to be doing on that on Jedi Africa. Yeah, like I said in our last sitting, everybody, if you're not African, I don't like you. I'm pulling back from the rest of everybody else. Like I just don't have time for anybody else. If you're not African, I don't like you. I don't want shit to do with you at all. Done. Because we're the people that get the shitty end of the stick all the time, and we're too loving and trusting and inviting and forgiving and all that stuff. And it's time to just be hard ass, hard line. I don't like none of y'all ass. Period. You want me to like you, need to come crawling and graveling to me or something and really convince me in some type of way. Like, I'm just over it, man. I'm over it. Nandi, Vicky Dillard is hosting a class on the 26th of this month, free about this strange case? I had a friend that worked in that building. 7 is a holy number too. Indeed it is. It so is. Nandi, you should go here on the channel. I have a video called The Miracle of the Number 19 in the Quran. It will turn your hair white. It will turn your hair white. Anyone who does not, if you say you're looking for the truth, you understand you're going to die one day, and you really searching for the truth, you're not bullshitting around, you expose yourself to Islam, nobody has to tell you anything else. It's going to be what it's going to be. I mention it because just that one alone, when you see the layout of this number, because Allah says to mankind in the Quran, Aleha tesata ashar, over it is 19. But you have to know where this verse is, why it's there. Just the layout of the book has baffled non-Muslim experts of the highest eminence in literature, mathematics, language, publishing, all of that. And I mention it because, yes, the number 7, there's also the miracle of the number 7 in the Quran that will just knock you off your feet. Do you understand? Even the opening surah of the Quran has 7 ayats. During Ramadan, Allah says that He descends to the lowest heaven and all the 7 doors of hell are chained. I can go on and on and on. 7 is a very important number. Very important. So I'm glad my birthday is on the 25th. 5 and 2 is 7. You understand? I'm a Pisces. You understand? I'm gonna be 25 next year or next month. You feel me? Be 20. Don't type anything. I'm gonna be 25. It's 25. Where's my punch? I'll miss being 24. That's all I can tell you. Information Man, a big shout out to you. And if you're still there watching, because I don't know when you left this and what time it is now, but I came across a video I had recorded when Brother Youssef was starting the Black Junction. And the 3 of us had a beautiful, emotional conversation. I isolated. I'm going to play it at some point, for my audience. But good to see you, man. I just watched that probably, it might be a month now. But shout out to you and Happy New Year. I don't know. They're all complete over here. Nandi, you say some comments feel they may be tired of the face of such crimes being pale males. Adriano, shout out to you. Adriano Stafford. They say he planted some explosives, but they failed. I know, right? Another anomaly. Another anomaly. You want to tell me you planted one explosive and it just didn't go off? It was a dud? Okay, the court will hear you. But you planted several, just even more than one, and none of them worked? I don't believe you. Again, it's for drama and high value of hysteria. Those are the dudes the feds sold him. The duds the feds sold him. Yes, and we have history for that, Adriano, because remember the first bombing of the Twin Towers in New York, we have the tapes now. The FBI had recruited these Arab dudes, gave them the explosives and everything. When they realized it was really serious, they was like, nah, we ain't doing this. We not. They admit it now. They admit it. And so now 2001 comes along. We're supposed to leave. You had nothing to do with blowing up the damn towers. Come on. But they do expect you not to not believe it. Or to believe it. Nandi, and some say that that area, the French Quarter, their cars aren't usually allowed. Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to come to a video where the barrier where it goes just right past the cop car. Adriano, I like you. You really know your stuff. Well, thank you, Adriano. I appreciate that. It's a high compliment. Yeah, I want to come to, well, a little bit more of the press conference. A little bit more, just because.
Later, all the resources of the FBI are being focused on tracking down every piece of evidence, every lead, every interview, every potential lead we've got. While I won't be able to answer all your questions today, my goal is to be as forthcoming as possible with you on what we've uncovered so far. First and foremost, let me be very clear about this point. This was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated and an evil act. This was obviously a critical incident.
Wait now.
That lots of information and tips come pouring in from law enforcement.
He said it was a terror attack, and he qualified why. Because it was an act of evil and it was on purpose. So why isn't Kyle Rittenhouse, why was he charged with a terrorist act? How about Dylan Roof? No terror there. Any of their mass school shootings? No terror there. Just not finding terror. Just not finding it. What else happened? He said deliberate act of a horrible act on purpose. So George Floyd's murder, not an act of terror, just no terror going on there. Can't find it. Just can't find terror, everybody. Just not able to find it. But they attaching this word, because I think I'm done with my prosecution, quite frankly, because they're attaching this word. Make no mistake about it, he just said. They're highlighting this because they want you to come with, there was a terror attack in New Orleans. There was a terror attack in New Orleans. So they start getting this terror into your blood. They gave you the big no stinking Zionist that I just showed you, who's clearly been drinking and hasn't shaved in a month. That's something else I want to get into. It. Not going to be asked up for the Mark Jacobs photo shoot. Don't want to get into that. But they're showing their hand, but they know you're ignorant. The American public are the dumbest population of people anywhere on the planet. The dumbest. The dumbest. The dumbest. People anywhere on the earth is the American public. The dumbest. I can't say it enough. The dumbest. So they have to qualify it or classify it as terrorism, because the Zionists already came on and tried to make the connection for you between the fucking illegal land heist, the murdering genocidal demons, and America. That we're all one, and they're going to be importing it here. People have been saying, they try to make it seem like the protesters want it imported here. The word import was used. Want to import it here. No one has said that. No one. But that's what they're trying to set you up for. I've always told you, anytime they're mentioning something that could happen, it's already done. They're just preparing the population for it so that it's not like it happened. It's you're kind of already ready for it. You're kind of already ready for it. And let us be very careful of the Simpsons with all their the Simpsons predicted such and such. No, that's foretelling. How you gonna? Because every time they do it, it's exactly, not like this will happen, but we won't know how it will happen. This will happen. Like they showed Trump with some Arab leader, and they were on some lit globe, and Trump is standing on this side, and the Arab guy standing on somebody, and it's exactly that in the actual thing that happened. Like, come on. But remember, they run a fucking America. They run the Simpsons and everybody that makes it. You understand? Just go watch The Simpsons, see when the credits roll. See how many Kahns and Rumsfelds and Goldbergs and shit did you see, and Andersons and Williams and da-da-da. You understand? This is what they're trying to do. They want to now bring that here because they want to take over the entire Middle East. And it's become even more urgent now with what's happening with Africa, because you have the BRICS nations, and other nations are running to join BRICS. BRICS is kind of like the answer to the United Nations and the European Union, everybody. But its distinction is, you see, 80% of the world's population is not white. I've been telling you since you knew me, they are an extreme minority on the planet. Don't ever let anybody call you a goddamn minority. Ever. You'll be highly offended by that. The same way somebody says something about your mama. You should be highly offended by that because you're exactly not a minority. And usually the demon telling you that is the extreme minority anywhere on the planet. The extreme minority. And they woke up to it. So very soon, very soon, the currency in America will be crashing. I don't know what to tell you to do to prepare for that. But it'll be crashing because the BRICS nations, just the nations that have joined already, account for 60% of world GDP. That's just the ones that have joined thus far. Before you get to Sahel, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, now you got Senegal and Chad that have come on. If you're just Sahel. And in Burkina Faso, they've already printed their first gold bars. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they've already put together their own passport, everybody. It will be the strongest passport on the continent of Africa. And soon and very soon, they will have their own currency. White people and their structure of just these few little people running the world, that shit is coming to a crashing halt. People are sick and tired of them. And this bullshit in Israel has really accelerated things. Because for those who still want to give them any benefit of rationality and decency and respect and just benefit of the doubt type thing, are like, nah, all this shit they've been saying, it's words. When the fat really hits the fire, they don't give a fuck about rules and the stuff they're saying. We know that. But thankfully, the rest of the world is seeing that now in a way that it's coming out of them, out of themselves, without somebody telling them. They're seeing it. They're seeing it. And they're rejecting all things Western, America, Britain, France, all the nonsense, all of it. Anyway, it's important to make that connection because that's one of the reasons I want to see this press conference, because we need to triangulate what voices are they speaking with. You understand? And it's exactly what I expect. We're going to see a concert. They're going to be speaking in concert. He really highlighted that. Make no mistake, he said. Well, just hear it again in case I heard something wrong.
First responders,
Especially
and
now that I'll be turning 25 next month. You know,
an act of terrorism. It was premeditated.
Wait, we have to hear the language. Just a second.
Premeditated.
Language.
This was obviously a critical incident, and
wait now.
With that, lots of information and tips come pouring in from.
Okay.
On track to interview every potential lead we've got. While I won't be able to answer all your questions today, my goal is to be as forthcoming as possible with you.
And his name is Christopher Raya. Somebody find out if that is a Zionist or Jewish surname. Raya, R-A-I-A.
On what we've uncovered so far. First and foremost,
at this point, he says,
this was an act of terrorism.
This was an act of terrorism because why, Christopher Raya?
It was premeditated and an evil act.
It was premeditated and it was an evil act. That's all you need for terrorism, everybody. That's the 2 ingredients you need. And then turn that oven to 350 and bake for 5 minutes. That he just told us. He just told us. You saw the evidence. He told us. You heard him. He told it. He said it. So that's all you need for terrorism. According to Christopher. Go ahead.
This was obviously a critical incident, with that, lots of information. We have been aggressively running down these tips and information. As you all know, that takes time, and we will continue to do so until every lead has been followed through on. This investigation is only a little...
White devils backing other white devils. So you see the crawl at the bottom. It says FBI. This was evil in quotations, act of terrorism. And let us all smirk, laugh, and side-eye any pronunciations of declarations of something being evil by white people when they are the authors, the architects of evil, the definition, quite frankly. And so for them to declare something evil always just strikes me a certain way. Like, it's like somebody, you know, they breath stink like hot chitlins, and they're telling somebody else they breath stink. You just, and you know it, and you just like, really, you telling somebody else they need a Tic Tac? Really though? But really? You feel me? This is that. This is that. Ray Supreme. Big shout out to you and a happy new year, my brother. Also to Khalifa of the Most High. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Sweet D, if I didn't shout you out already. A little more of Christopher.
24 hours old. So I ask you to keep in mind that as I go through some of the specifics later. Another fact I want to be clear on. We do not assess at this involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar, the subject you've already been briefed.
Nobody else.
A little bit about what the FBI is doing. So we are surging people and assets to the area from across the region and across the nation. Special agents in multiple field offices across the country have been deployed and are assisting with potential aspects of investigation and following and assistance to the victims and their families. We've also forward deployed a number of our critical incident response group assets, including members of our hostage rescue team, special agent bomb technicians, and crisis management coordinators. In addition, we have deployed more evidence response to continue to process the various scenes that we have. So far, we have received just over 400 tips from the public, and that information is being on both here in New Orleans across the country that we were following up on. The FBI team and our law enforcement partners here are also reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance and other video from both the French Quarter and other locations. As for a timeline, at this point, investigators believe Jabbar picked up the rented F-150 in Houston, Texas on December 30th. On the evening of the 31st, and he posted several videos to an online platform proclaiming his support.
Because we have not seen the ISIS flag, as I proclaimed to you. No ISIS flag. And we've also not seen these videos they keep citing that he supposedly had out there. They're trying to build this on something that didn't happen. But this seems to be their new way, everybody, because when 7th October happened, go back and watch the videos that I've done on the murder and genocide in Gaza. One of my main indictments is they told us something happened. They've not shown us a fucking video of anything at all. Not even one. Not one. Then they claim, then after the fire got too hot, they claimed some journalists were able to go in and they showed them the entire. No, it didn't happen. So now you don't need to do 9/11/2001 and go, look, that happened. So now we have to do the evil we've already planned to do. Now you just go, it happened. Now we have to do such and such. No need to do all that work to actually do the actual event. No need. That's so déclassé and so yesterday. It's so retro. We don't do those anymore. We just go, it happened, and then go do the shit you wanted to do. That's the new way. So this is that.
There were 5 videos posted on Jabbar's Facebook account,
Right.
which are time-stamped beginning at 1:29 a.m.
This is when the media would normally jump in and say, well, do we have the videos? And we've seen press conferences where they have special video and they show the video at the press conference. But again, I already showed you the stinking Zionist sitting with the underneath lighting, and that's all. And because now we know there is a Zionist component to this, and you've seen, if you didn't know before October 7th, even the ignorant know now that everybody in this bitch licks the ass of Israel. Everybody, including the media, especially the media. So let us not be surprised if we don't see them now saying, are you going to make those videos available for the public to see? Huh? Because again, make no mistake, this is a terrorist attack. So if you're giving it all this ire, then usually when it's this ire, we get to see more stuff. So, and you said there's nobody else. So just this one dude. So now show us the 5 videos you cited. 5. Where are they, Christopher? Huh? Well, where is it? Well, where is it?
In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was
telling us what happened in the video. Go, oh, he did that. It didn't happen. That's where I've always been, and that's where I'm trying to get anybody that listens to me to be. It didn't happen. I didn't see it. You haven't shown me anything, so it didn't happen. It didn't happen. If it happened, you'd show me. You'd show me. You'd show me. It's like with the stinking Zionists, with their genocide. If everything that happened on October 7th happened, if you even had a video of even one of those incidents happening, it would be on loop on every major damn corporate media station from then till now. You don't have it. You don't. You don't. You understand? So this is that. They're going to tell us about these 5 videos, and we're supposed to be in all this ooh about it. That's typical, everybody. This is why the Jedi speaks, because I'm not typical just by the gift of the way Allah has built me, the human being that I am. So I don't want you to think I'm special or that you're not. That's just how I was built, thankfully. So that's what everybody else will do. It's enough for them. It's not enough. It's not. I didn't see it. You haven't shown me anything, so it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Concerned the news headlines would not focus on the quote,
see this
war
this
between the believers
and the Zionist propaganda,
end quote. Additionally, he stated he had joined ISIS before this summer.
With all of this ISIS that they gave us since what, 2016 or something like this? I don't remember when ISIS came on the scene, when they premiered ISIS. You know, where do we go sign up for ISIS? He said he just joined. So where do you go join? Is there an ISIS office? Is there an office? Is there an ISIS office? Can I tour the office? Can I tour the ISIS office? Can I? Huh? Can I just tour the ISIS office? I'd like to just take a tour. Go on, Christopher. Let's have it.
FBI and ATF. FBI. We have a couple different scenes at the location. We have released the scene at Bourbon Street. That scene has been released. We also have a scene off of Mandeville Address where we're currently searching that scene right now. FBI and ATF agents have secured that house, and that location is being searched for potential evidence. On New Year's morning, Jabbar opened fire after ramming through a blocked off area of Bourbon Street.
Just a second. Just a second. After ramming through a blocked off area of Bourbon Street, suggest facts not in evidence, move to strike. Because what we're trying to build our way up to is we want to see, because I have the video someplace. where that's the whole thing. This is one of the anomalies I'm citing. There was nothing for him to crash through. It was open. He went right past the cop car and just right on. I mean, it was nothing. And they started backpedaling why it was open. What it's normally not. Like it's normally as a barrier. Why isn't it there? Oh, because we have Sugar Bowl or something. Is it Sugar Bowl? Sugar something and I think the Super Bowl. A lot of bowls going on. A lot of bowls. So that was their reasoning. Now you stand before the public as the deputy assistant. What is he? The deputy assistant director?
Weapon to run over the victims.
The deputy assistant director of the FBI, no less. And you say he crashed through a barrier onto Bourbon Street. We'll just hear the testimony again.
Specially trained victim specialists.
We'll just hear it again.
As I said,
just in case, you know, at
will.
24 years old, I miss things. I mean, I'm turning 25 next month, and I just, you know, we don't know what could happen. Here's language. Language, everybody. Language. Language.
FBI and ATF.
Right.
FBI, we have a couple different scenes.
He's the deputy assistant director of FBI, and he has to read a script of a fresh incident that didn't happen 6 months ago, but happened a few hours ago. And he's got to find his notes to understand what happened, everybody. That is a problem.
At the location. We have released the scene at Bourbon Street. That scene has been released.
Released.
We also have a scene off of Mandeville address where we're currently searching that scene right now. FBI and ATF agents have secured that house, and that location is being searched for potential evidence. On New Year's morning, Jabbar opened fire after ramming through a blocked off area of Bourbon Street.
Ramming through a blocked off area of Bourbon Street. Go on.
Used his truck as a weapon to run over the victims. Teams of specially trained victim specialists, again, as I said, are on the ground here in New Orleans, assisting survivors of the attack and loved ones of the deceased. We do not believe the public is in any danger around any of these locations. 3 phones linked to Jabbar have been recovered, and digital media exploitation is a priority to see what is on the devices and determine if there are any other potential leads. Additionally, we have recovered 2 laptops and are currently reviewing them for any potential leads. Those laptops were recovered at the Mandeville.
You see the style of the reporting, everybody? They're trying to make it seem like it's ongoing. And we're trying to establish if there's any information there, like the next plane could be coming in, duck for cover. I need you to understand the style of it, the style, the delivery. It's not like it's a past event. He's speaking of it as it's an ongoing. But while they're stressing, nobody else was helping them. But you see the ire, the atmospherics, the style, his delivery, the cadence is that we don't know. Something could blow up now. You're in danger. Quick. You're in danger.
Address. Evidence technicians will also be going over the F-150 truck Jabbar was driving. As you know, we recovered an ISIS flag from the back of the vehicle. Jabbar.
That we have not shown and have only talked about. As you know, he said. You think again, language, everybody. Language. This always frustrates me anytime I communicate to anyone about anything, because this is like breathing for me. It's second nature. And I always worry, did they get it? Did they get it? Did they understand? Did they get it? So things that are so obvious, you hear that now. He said, as you know. That's not a random choice of words or statement. That's to the press, which I'm sure that room, not just anybody's in that room as press. It's put up here as Fox, but they're just one affiliate that's in the room. There's probably everybody in there. He's got 50 microphones up there, so we could insinuate. But I'm saying, as you know, like this is an established fact. So if we have a question and answer, and I don't know if we will, then questions we should be hearing, and we won't, is where is the ISIS flag now? And are you going to show that to the public? You cited 5 videos. Where are those videos, and will you be showing those to the public? If there's real journalists in the room. Instead, this is a Zionist design, a proclamation of an event that allegedly happened. We don't have the perpetrator because he's dead. Because if you're not white, you die after you do some bullshit. White people get arrested and go to Burger King and they do it all. What's that? Wait, what's that? Wait. I could hear it all the way from over there. I'm being told in my ear, they're in Tahiti. You saw the evidence there. I proved it. So you saw it. I proved it. No, but so we don't have the perpetrator. We don't have an ISIS flag. You've not shown us the 5 videos. The video, this is the other thing too. The video I'm telling you about where he just drives past the cop car. Know this, everybody, going forward the rest of your life. As someone who have security cameras here at my home, I have cameras on my drones. You can watch any documentary. It doesn't have to be a documentary. Just anybody talking about Walmart or any retailer. You see the cameras they show. There's no camera that the stuff moves in stop motion anymore, everybody. So the moment you see that, you know that's to provoke something. Mystery. It's the same as when I'll show you a scene and it's nothing. And then you play happy music over it and you go, oh, it's happy. And I play dark tones and suddenly becomes something else. Ooh. This is that. The grainy stop motion video of the truck going. Why isn't it just smooth like you would record it on your damn phone? Why isn't it that? Because it's been done that way. That's on purpose. There's no camera on Earth unless it's from God knows when. There's no camera on Earth of any type, not even a Ring camera, that produces that type of a product after the fact. Because stuff is going directly to SD cards and things like that. It's not like on tape and magnetic stuff and all that anymore. If it's not smooth, you should immediately be suspect of that footage. I don't care what it's of. If the footage is not smooth, it's a problem. Always remember that. Always.
Declared his support for the terrorist group on someone's. FBI bomb technicians also recovered 2 IEDs.
So he made these proclamations on social media as he just stressed it, as he made his way to New Orleans. There's such thing as an algorithm created by an African person. Thank you very much. We did that. We do everything. It's all us. There's a thing called an algorithm, everybody. And suddenly post 9/11 and with any other major events, you have algorithms, because remember the Facebook and all the other things, many of them are either CIA or have a major office of the CIA as an attachment to their organization. They listen for certain words. You don't have to be on that. You can just be on your phone. I have a fully Arabic name. Do you understand? I know my shit is tapped. I know it already. Too many mysterious things have happened on my phone over the years. I know. But I'm just trying to make the point to say that nobody picked up anything if he was making all these proclamations as he was traveling from Texas to New Orleans, according to them, on social media. That wasn't picked up. I've also seen where Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you see people up there. Some of them, I don't think anybody's shown themselves. I think there was one guy that showed himself, but most of them are they're blacked out and their voices change. There's literally people that sit and watch. They're supposed to be the gatekeepers to keep really traumatic stuff from reaching the viewer, especially if it's live. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's people watching me now to make sure I don't kill myself or do something like just, oh my God, that you don't want to see happen live. But so nobody picked that up. Nobody picked that up. That's another anomaly, and we don't believe you. We don't believe you. You see, they give themselves away while trying to craft another tower of lies. They give it away. They give it away. That was another giveaway.
In coolers, one from the cross section of Bourbon and Orleans,
Bombs.
other devices. Those.
And you're going to show us a video now of him planting these devices, because Bourbon Street, highly touristy areas, certainly at Mardi Gras and New Year's. And you're going to tell me there's no cameras that caught every single movement. Remember when Jonathan Majors, the white bitch, was chasing him down the street? We had like an hour and a half, it seemed like, of Jonathan running across all the state of New York. And he was picked up by another camera, yet another camera, from all angles, in color no less. And guess what? It wasn't stop motion and grainy, everybody. Huh? Come on, man. Don't play with me. Don't do it. You got to get up early and stay up late.
Those reports turned out to be misinformation, or not actual functioning device. Only 2 devices that we've been able to recover that were functional. Both devices were rendered safe on scene. We did obtain surveillance footage showing Jabbar's devices.
You mentioned that it was testimony at first, and then now you say we have video of him placing the devices where they say that's what you lead with. We have the video of him placing the shit. No matter what, you don't need no testimony after that. There we have him on tape. That's the dude, and he's planning the shit. There it is. Do you see? This is all a bunch of crap, everybody, to put people in a state of fear. And sadly, so many people go for it. You just tell anybody that will hear you, it's just anybody will hear you. Just tell them don't worry about none of that. Don't. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Two other, as I said before, 2 other items of interest were determined not to be IEDs.
Items of interest. Just
a little bit about Jabbar.
Now, a little bit about
Jabbar himself was born in the United States and is a U.S.
Now, this is going to be very illuminating and revealing, because he said now a little bit more about Jabbar. Now, what we want to listen for, everybody, is how much detail does he have about Jabbar? Huh? What dossier is he going to present to us now? And we're listening for information for anything that's very, like, even though you're the FBI, why would you know that type thing? Do you understand? I always know what I'm listening for, because if things line up, then they line up. If they don't, then you know some bullshit. You understand? So before we even hear it, I'm prepping you, hopefully, to, if you don't already have the ear, to train you to what you trying to listen for. It's like if I play a B flat, I play it on something so that you hear it, to prep you. So when you play it, you heard it. Like I'm playing a B flat right now. I know I'm hearing the same thing. You understand? Unless you're tone deaf, and then it's all in that mirror. Can't get into it. All right. So what's he going to tell us about Jabbar now? Go.
Military veteran. We are looking in everything in his life. While we have interviewed many people who know Jabbar, we still need to talk to others. Whether you know Jabbar personally, worked with him, served a need to talk to you. You may not think you have relevant information, but what you know could tie in to one of our investigative leads. Specifically, we want to talk to anyone who was in the French Quarter on New Year's Eve or early on New Year's Day. People spotted IEDs on Bourbon Street. That include the IED was inside.
Why do you need to talk to anybody that was there? You just said you had video surveillance of him placing it. What value now is a witness? Let's say I had been on Bourbon Street, and I may have been. I don't want to get into it. Maybe I was. I fly private, so there wouldn't be a flight record. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to. It's about me. But let's say I was there and I saw something, but you got it on tape. What value now? Why do you need to talk to me? What can I offer that would be of any value? Unless before you picked him up on all the million cameras that must be on Bourbon Street that I saw him at a McDonald's somewhere on the side of the road between Texas and New Orleans or something. I mean, you know, what value we want to talk to everybody. I'm being rhetorical, everybody, because they don't need anybody. They don't. This is, again, what I said to you a moment ago. This just it's an ongoing, you could be in danger type thing. You understand? We want to talk to anybody that was on Bourbon Street and da, 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 da. But you already said you had the video. We have it. This is to keep that up, ooh, you're in danger right now. That's why I said they're not speaking of it as it happened, it's over, we're done, it's just finding out what happened. There's this tone of it's still happening. That's what that statement was about. Why we want to talk to anybody that was on Bourbon Street, that was there, that knew anything, that was there to buy their mother flowers and ate a donut, and we don't know.
At a cooler, and many people stopped and looked at the cooler and then continued on their way.
So what?
Let's be clear. Again, we not believe at this point these people are involved in this incident in any way. We want to speak to them as witnesses and want to know what they saw and when.
You just said what they saw. You said there's the video of the many people walking up and seeing it, and that's it. So you know what they saw and when they saw it. Again, not understanding. I mean, it just, you know.
I went down to the crime scene last night. It is very hard to put
it on the throat as if it was so choking. I went to the crime scene last night, you know, that I'm swallowing tears and holding it back. I mean, this is a theatrical performance. Normally, I wouldn't do this right at the beginning of the year. All right, get me one of my, you knew it was coming. Get me one of my Emmys and just send it to, find the address on this. Just go ahead and send them the Emmy. I've got so many, I can just give one. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. Just send the Emmy. Just
how difficult it was to see. Anyone with information can call us at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Send digital tips to FBI.gov/Bourbon Street attack.
Because it's ongoing.
Early this morning, evidence response teams finished their work at the crime scene. Bourbon Street has been turned over to the city of New Orleans.
Turned over.
As you know, all FBI investigation in Las Vegas. At this point, there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas.
Freudian slip. There is no link. Not much gets past the Jedi. Let's hear that again.
And I'll preface as I
Wait now.
close. I'll preface everything with.
Wait.
Early this morning, evidence response teams of New Orleans. As you know, there's also an FBI investigation in Las Vegas. We are following up on all potential leads, and now there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans.
There's no link, everybody. That's a Freudian slip. They call it. It's when you say something that's the truth unintentionally that fits what, that would be the truth. There's no leak. They're absolutely connected. And the other anomaly is that this guy and the guy in Vegas had the same military. I don't want to speak on it. They had they're connected militarily. Like they went to the same military thing or something. Like it's like okay, y'all know each other, but both y'all who have the same thing do the same thing. Come on, man. I mean, again, you can't have that. So that was a Freudian slip right there.
And the one in Las Vegas. And again, I'll preface everything started with in the beginning, which was this very early in an investigation like this. Again, our thoughts and prayers Our thoughts and our prayers are with the victims of this tragedy and everyone impacted across the country. They remain at the heart of our investigation. I also, although I've only been on the ground here a short time, I also want to express a sincere appreciation for our partners here, which include the U.S. Attorney's Office, HSI, ATF, the New Orleans,
And
the
I'd
Governor's
like to
Office,
all
and countless
the
others.
the producers and writers I work with, and I'm over it. All right. Let me first take a break from this quickly so I can see how long we're in. All right. Ray Supreme, you said yes, predictive programming. Khalifa, I didn't read what you said. Sorry, I'm late, gang. Greetings to you all. Yes, another shout out to you and a happy new year to Khalifa. Sweet D, you say they're going to take America down. Indeed. This guy acts as if, and I love how you put act as if only Israelis were targeted. I know it was a dead giveaway, but I was already speculating on that. Do you understand? So the validation was just like, okay, we already know that already. You know, that's what this is about, everybody. This is about turning the tide for you to now to try and draw. And they're gonna. This won't be the only ones. They're gonna give you some other stuff because they need to make sure this is saturated amongst the populace. It's a campaign. It's an entire campaign to sway you back over to feeling like, oh, and not just hate Israel, just the fuck outright, but now to try and bring back some sympathy. And sadly, some people will fall for that, but we should exist to try to discourage that because there's more of us than them. Do you understand? There's more of us than them. No, we will not be feeling any damn sympathy for them, period, at all. We won't do it. They are murdering genocidal demons. And so, but they're also psychotic. They are the definition of the devil, everybody. I'm dead ass about that. Like, I'm not, there's no ambiguity about that at all. And U.S. Naval Academy and NSA Annapolis, NSA, that's the National Security Agency, increased force protection measures after terror attack. They already said there's nobody else, nothing to see here. It's just this one dude, Shamsu. That's it. We're go home. But U.S. Naval Academy and NSA in Annapolis increased force protection measures after terror attack. But you're not in danger. You see? Wow, they nutting before they even smash. Here's something. FBI quiet about agent who said Bourbon Street attack was not a terrorist event. We got to see this. We have to. We have to. Wow. That is interesting. I need to see if there's an article first to that too. Because, yeah, I'd like to read it first before we see the video. The FBI remains silent on whether it will fire or discipline the agent who initially told the media and public that the shocking New Year's Day attack in New Orleans was, quote, not a terrorist event, end quote. How dare he make it just a regular thing of violence that always happens in America around the damn clock 365 days a year. We've got Zionists involved, for Christ's sake. We flew some soldiers here that were doing genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza. Quick, it's terror. How dare you pull down the curtain? This is like, don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain after Toto pulls the curtain back and he's back there working all the levers. This is that, everybody. This is that. And so it's not sure whether it will fire or discipline. Like immediately we got to pounce him for saying that it wasn't a terrorist attack. Is he not allowed to have a point of view? And he's an FBI agent. About the agent who initially told the media and the public that this was not a terror event. I think a FBI agent has the purview to make that assessment. Don't you? That's like saying Rachel Ray has no business telling you whether or not to fix those cookies at 375 or not. Damn her. This is that. Saying that it was, quote, not a terrorist event, before the agency quickly backtracked after they spoke to their masters in Israel and reported that the attack was in fact under investigation as a terror incident. Listen, if this is the case, then robbing a liquor store, that's a terrorist event. There it is. We have it. We did it. You saw it. We did it. Again, this is a desperate attempt. You can see so clearly is what I'm trying to really paint. You can see so clearly they're going such a long way to get so much mild. It's like you got a half of an orange and you determine you're going to make this a gallon of orange juice and convince me that it's a gallon of orange juice. That's what this is. That. Are you feeling me? It's like they're doing so. No, they got to make it a terrorist attack no matter what. It was only a lady getting her purse snatched, but damn it, it was a terrorist event that's sending shockwaves across the earth. Fox News Digital reached out to the FBI's press office and press secretary on Thursday and Friday, inquiring whether New Orleans Field Office FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Althea Duncan, that's a sister. No, Alethea, that still could be a sister. Duncan would face termination. So we definitely know it's a sister. How dare this black bitch say what this is or isn't? We got a whole Zionist operation going on. Get her nigger ass up out of here. Get that black bitch up out of here. This is that. And they're naming her at that? They're naming her. It's the FBI. You throwing her under the bus? You naming her? She's already fired. No, she's stepping, and she won't get to step down. Inquiring whether the New Orleans Field Office Special Agent in Charge, Alethea Duncan, would face termination or disciplinary action over her initial claim the attack was not connected to terrorism, but did not receive replies. Did you fire her black ass yet? But we didn't get any replies yet. Quick, did you fire her black ass? That's what it is. Fox Digital also called the FBI's press office on Friday morning, but could not leave a message regarding the inquiry as the voicemail box was full, because all white devils are calling now. You fire her ass. Because if she had been white, then she just, wait for it, class, misspoke. She misspoke. Nothing to see here. But that Althea, damn it, she's taking down the FBI. We'll be taking, the voicemail box was full. Yeah. After chaos unfolded on Bourbon Street early Wednesday morning and New Year's revelers celebrated the holiday, Duncan, Alethea, spoke during a press conference declaring the attack was not connected to terrorism. So they just said, after the chaos unfolded early Wednesday morning as New Year's revelers were celebrating. So she's got a fresh beginning of the moment assessment, not a terrorist event. Indeed, it's not. And she's going to have a huge lawsuit and have a lot of money because as long as she finds a lawyer that's not a freaking stinking ass big nose Zionist. Because how many of us would declare that a terror attack? We don't see no ISIS sign. There's no ISIS flag, so she didn't see that because it wasn't there. She just saw a truck that came through and barreled through. That's it. And by the way, remember, what was it, 2016, 17, something like that? Remember what was that in Charlottesville too, where the protesters were out there and the dude backed the car up and killed the girl and all that stuff? That wasn't called a terrorist event. Was not called terrorism. There's been cars that run through protesters on purpose just because they pissed that they're blocking the roadway. Not a terrorist event. Just no terrorism can be found there. So our sister sees just some car on New Year's Eve. And by the way, she's also got the benefit of the fact that it's New Year's Eve and it just said that revelers are celebrating the holiday. So they're all drunk. It's on Bourbon Street, known for being intoxicated. So this is just a drunk driver to her. No terrorism to see here until all your fucking Zionist big nose stinking devilish asses come in, baby drinking, baby blood drinking ass, baby eating ass motherfuckers come in, and suddenly it's a terrorist event. Suddenly, this sister needs to lawyer up. This is the stuff, and her name has been printed over this event. The damages you could show. She'll never be able to get a job. And she's in the FBI. She's in the FBI. So she's not just like some mall cop. This is the stuff that $50 million lawsuits are made of, everybody. 100 million, 150, 200 million. Mark my words. Duncan spoke during a press conference declaring the attack was not connected to terrorism. Quote, we will be taking over the investigation lead for this event. This is not a terrorist event, end quote, Duncan said during the presser. I'll just read it again. Quote, we'll be taking over the investigative lead on this event. This is not a terrorist event, end quote. There was nothing inappropriate about that at all. And I just presented a case that is absolutely sane. It's New Year's Eve. Drunk people are walking around. The damn barrier is down, unbeknownst. And the guy comes barreling through. That's all that happened. There was no bombs. There was no ISIS flag. He was not screaming Allahu Akbar or anything else. There was nothing that would have given her, she didn't see Osama riding in the back of the truck. Or ISIS fighters. Wait. I hate when they interrupt me. What's that? I'm being told there was ISIS fighters in the truck. They're right there. Right there. Right there. All right, down goes Althea. During the same press conference, however, the mayor of New Orleans, who is also a sister, told the media and public that the city did in fact suffer a terror attack. Because the mayor runs for office. And I've already told you and brought you Cynthia McKinney. This is knowledge conversion I'm giving you right now, everybody. I've already shown you that you can't run for mayor, governor, senator, congressperson, president. You're not at school board. You're not doing anything unless you pledge your ass to Israel. She's not going to be the mayor of New Orleans, a major city, a high-profile city, and she didn't lick the ass of Israel. But Alethea, who's just in the FBI, would have no reason to pledge her damn allegiance to Israel. Because she would know that's some bullshit. Because her oath says she doesn't pledge herself to any foreign government. That's why she wears the American flag and the badge and all of it, and I'm over it. So we could see why there'd be discrepancy between the two sisters. The FBI sister stuff says nothing to see here. This is not terrorism. Bite me. Then the mayor comes and says, yeah, we did suffer a terrorist attack. You see? So that's I could absolutely see why there would be a disconnect. Quote, know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack. It's all still under investigation. Mayor LaToya Cantrell, a Democrat who has served in the role since 2018, said to the presser. You see that, to give you her whole dossier? This, I guess, I don't. What publication is this? Fox. Just like they gave you Alethea's name, that's inappropriate. An FBI agent, you giving her name, that's slander and libel. Now, the mayor is public, so we have the right to know it's there. But you could have just said it's all under investigation, said Mayor Cantrell. That's the end of it. No. Said Mayor LaToya Cantrell, full government, a Democrat. That means the bitch voted for Kamala. Know this, she's a Democrat. She's a leftist. She's a liberal who has served in the role since 2018. Giving you her whole dossier. She had oatmeal that morning. She's on her cycle, and her 3 kids are all in college and doing well. I mean, it's all there. On Thursday, the FBI responded to Fox Digital's request for comment regarding criticism surrounding Duncan's initial assessment. The attack was not connected to terrorism, detailing to Fox Digital that on the day of the attack, the FBI released 3 different statements that all said that the FBI was investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. So they now just double threw your sister under the bus. They said on Thursday they responded. Remember, Fox Digital said we've been trying to call them, but their mailbox is full. We can't get anybody. Now they're saying on Thursday they called back and said, yeah, we did say these 3 statements. All of them said it was a terrorist attack. This black bitch, she wasn't on board, so we definitely got to take care of her. She don't get to step down. Click. That's what happened. Everybody, I have the recording. I have it. That they released no less than 3 statements that all said the FBI was investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. Well, how come this sister didn't know? And you released your stuff on Thursday. At what time? Because this was Wednesday morning that Duncan is making the statement. You're Johnny come lately. Again, she's got at least $100 million lawsuit. At least $100 million lawsuit. At least. Quote, this morning an individual drove a car into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing a number of people and injuring dozens of others. The subject then engaged with local law enforcement and is now deceased. The FBI is the lead investigative agency, and we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism, end quote. The FBI said in one of the statements provided to Fox Digital. This is why I understand now from that paragraph why they're still asking people to come forward. What did you see? What did you see? Because they want to tighten up the story. Because they can't have you. They want you to think you're coming to help. They have the lies, just like they killed off everybody that saw JFK being murdered. Everybody went missing. Everybody. This is that. They want you to think you're coming in to. They really have you come in so they tell you to shut up and threaten you. Because remember, I kept dancing on it, saying, why do you need anybody come in? You have the video. You already know what happened. You know how long it happened, what they saw, when they saw it, where they saw it. You already know everything. This is why. Because I'll just read it again. This morning, blah, blah, blah. That's their statement. The FBI is the lead investigative agency. Well, our sister said that in the initial statement they're trying to slander her for. She said that. She said, we're taking over now this investigation, and then she just classified it. This is not a terror attack. She made that statement based on the evidence she had, because that's all the evidence there is. Now, what provoked me to make my statement is said where it said the subject then engaged that it drove the car and a number of people killed and injured. Period. The subject then engaged with law enforcement. So that means there's going to be somebody that's going to say, no, we never saw the police engage with him. We never saw it. He didn't shoot any police. They didn't shoot at him. Or he never got out of the car. They showed up and just blasted him out. You see? That's why they want to talk to witnesses. That's why. That's why the truth has revealed itself. One more, you guys. I'm just trying to get to the video of, because this video is going to reveal two things. I want you to see there's no ISIS flag. It's a very quick couple second video. And then also I want you to see the bullet holes in the back of the cab of the truck, which supports my theory that there was no shootout with police, that it was either they just came up and murdered whoever was in this thing. But it could have been a remote control truck. We don't know. We don't know if anybody was in this damn truck. We don't know. We don't know. This is it. Wait now. Wait. Are you guys in? You're in. Aha. Okay. All right. Let me just enlarge it. So while it's still shot, let me just show you this girl right here with red hair. By a hair, she missed being hit by this truck. But you see, it's so fast that we don't get a chance to really see the truck. But I stopped it a number of times because I wanted to know, do I see a damn ISIS flag? And I do not. That I'm very clear about. Sorry about the buffering, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. The girl in the red. And there's nothing to be squeamish about here. Nobody gets killed in this video. It's nothing happening. So settle down. Watch now. I don't know why it starts doing that before it even gets to damn. I don't even have to pause it yet. One more time, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can get it. I probably can't. Once you pause it, it shrinks. Look, so as I pause it, it shrinks. I hate this to death. On everything, I hate this. She barely gets out of the way. Barely. Barely. Barely, barely, barely. All right. We're gonna have to do this in more parts. I feel like I'm not done prosecuting this, because I still have other evidences that I want to bring. I want to show the I wanted to show the truck going directly past the damn police cruiser, and I'm just scanning now to see if it's in one of these. I know I have it on one of my tabs. Oh. Because we didn't get to the Vegas guy either in his damn Cybertruck. That's not what I want. I don't want that. Joint FBI and Department of Homeland Security bulletin warns of copycat terrorists after New Orleans attack. Again, they're just solidifying everything I've said to you. You got to see this guy. You telling me this dude, and they said he was 40 something. I think that, didn't they say he was 40 something? Doesn't look a 40-year-old anything to me. And that's a melanated man of some degree. And we don't look 1,000 when we're in our 40s. We just don't do that. That in itself is suspicious to me. FBI released photo of surveillance footage that shows Shamsud an hour before he drove his truck down. So it's an hour before, just 1 hour. This is how he looks. And they claim his why, potentially from these videos, these 5 videos that we can't see, that he apparently made online that nobody's seen, is because he recently went through another divorce. I mean, you can't give me ISIS, don't give me radical Muslim when none of this is by the book. You know, divorce is very much understood in Islam that, you know, like a woman can get out of a marriage simply because you're not putting it down in the bedroom. That's her right. Like literally, that's a valid reason for divorce in Islam. He's not putting it down. He ain't cracking my back. I'm out. Done. You understand? So, just his prospects and things like that are just be vastly different. Like that's just not a reason. And from everything that I've seen, his jobs were kind of, you know, prestigious. So it doesn't ring true. Half sibling, we'll just see this. Or read this. Half sibling of alleged New Orleans attacker says brother was radicalized, struggled to find himself. Half sibling, who was probably paid to say this or doesn't exist, and we're being told that a half sibling said this. The half brother of the terrorist suspect. Why are you calling him a suspect when you've already ready to have the head of an FBI agent who said it wasn't a terrorist attack and you're pissed at that because you've decided it is absolutely a terrorist attack before it even happened? And now you would declare him a terrorist suspect? Are you still suspecting? I mean, again, you know, it should say the half brother of the terrorist who did blah, blah, blah. The half brother of the terrorist suspect. That means we don't know. We don't know. He's just suspected. That means he's free to go. Shamsud for the attack of the New Year's and blah, blah, blah. Fox News spoke with Abdul Rahim Jabbar in Beaumont, Texas, where they grew up alongside 3 additional siblings. Abdur said, this is a problem. I was going to stop a second ago. Listen, everybody. Abdur Rahim is one word. It's one name. It's one name. Because it's not a name. It's a statement. It's a meaning of who you are. It's like you can't have Abd Allah. It's Abdullah. Abdullah, which is servant or slave of Allah. So I was going to stop there and said the spokesperson, Abdul Rahim, and also the fact that it is Abdul Rahim. Because the 2 names that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said are the best names you could name a boy child, like in humanity, is Abdullah and Abdul Rahim. So, and I already pointed out to you about the Friday thing earlier in the article, one of the previous articles. Isn't it just so convenient that his half-sibling brother has this name? Isn't it just interesting? And convenient, really. said they grew up alongside 3 additional siblings who I'm sure they're not going to name. So instead, they should have just called him Jabbar by his last name, or they should give him Abdul Rahim, not Abdur. No one has that. No one. Said that they grew up Muslim along with his whole family. He said that Shamsud stepped away from Islam, but found his way back following his 2022 divorce. So you come back to us allegedly. We don't buy any of this shit right now, everybody. This is all lies as far as we're concerned. Until I see this dude up there speaking and we can cross-examine the video and who he is and scrutinize him, this is just fiction we're reading. This means absolutely nothing at all. It says he grew up Muslim, the whole family. He came back after following his 2022 divorce. But I thought his whole thing was that one of the things they were putting out was that he was so distraught over being divorced. I think it was like his 3rd divorce or something. Anyways, Jabbar struggled to find himself throughout his life. His half-brother told Fox News. Really? Because he was in the military, had a long career, not understanding. You kind of find yourself. Not understanding. He said that his half-brother joined the army to, quote, find something to set him straight, ground him, and maybe find a viable career path, end quote. Following Shamsud's 2 divorces, his brother said that he was, quote, looking for some type of guidance. Oh, another wife, maybe? That's your guidance? You're good? Move on? His half-brother blamed radicalization. No, this is why we know they're lying. This brother doesn't exist, everybody. I already showed they got the name wrong. And isn't it convenient, the name that it is? This is also bullshit because it's the Sunnah, it's the Sharia of Islam, is we don't throw our brothers under the bus. We don't. We cover our brother. Do you understand? I can know some stuff about you, but I'm not going to reveal that. I cover you. Now, you can't just do something outlandish. There's limits, I'm saying. But this would meet that. He would still be well within his what is correct. He doesn't need to be talking to these people, especially if this is his brother. He's deceased. There's no need to talk to these people at all. The only time you're going to reveal something heinous or it doesn't have to be heinous, just anything that doesn't put your brother in a good light and hold his honor, is if he is going to be married and you have an obligation to let that sister know that he's marrying. That ain't the dude. No, you understand? We will tell you that. So this is why I also know he's not Muslim. That's one. Number 2, no Muslim. I speak for all 2 billion of us. Every single one, man, woman, and unborn damn child. I speak for all 2 billion Muslims with this next statement. There's not a Muslim on planet Earth who's going to tell you that there's such thing as radicalization. Done. Full stop. Absolutely 100% the truth. I swear by Allah. Uqsum billahi al-azim. Wallahi, it is the truth. So this is not a real person. And if it is, it's someone who's not a Muslim. Who maybe they were born Muslim. What's that mean? Your parents were Muslim. You lived under the roof. I guess we're Muslim. But not someone who's practicing. Someone who knows the way of life. He's just associating by name. I guess I'm Muslim type thing. There's no Muslim, there's not a single Muslim on this earth that will make that statement. Quote, he said, wait, where was it? Looking for some type of guidance. His half-brother blamed radicalization for the attack and said that he did not see any signs prior to the attack, as well as expressing his condolences for the 15 lives lost. You see how they just tied themselves into a knot? His brother blames the radicalization. which he wouldn't, because there's no such thing. There isn't. There isn't. Because if there was, then you would be attacking some shit that matters. You would be on Bourbon Street at New Year's Eve, shooting random people. Not only that, they are not proper targets under Sharia. You understand? The Quran is very clear about the rules of engagement when it comes to war, everybody. We can't just kill anybody. We can't. We can't. And innocent is something you're not allowed to take. Not allowed to. He wants to come here. You want to go and destroy a military base or some shit that the government building or the government, the White House or some shit. Those would be acceptable. That's your enemy. I've told you all, for African people, anybody that's in that police uniform is our enemy. This would be a rule of engagement. You understand? So this is I'm destroying for you now why this is not. There is no half brother, and if there is, he's not Muslim. Because he says his half-brother blamed radicalization. That's a strike. His brother wouldn't say that because there's no such thing as radicalization. So, but we'll go with them. He's blaming radicalization and said that he did not see any signs prior to the attack. I blame it, but I didn't see it. I blame it, but I didn't see it. It should be I saw it, so I blame it. I didn't see it, or I blame it, but I didn't see it. His half-brother blamed radicalization for the attack and said he did not see any signs prior to the attack. That's the forked tongue of a white devil. Nobody else on earth speaks like that except for them. That's why I know this is also not true. You got to know the rhythm of your own people, everybody. But also you got to know the rhythm of you got to know the rhythm of white people. So you know when you hear them. Last sentence. Paragraph. He said this quote was not a direct reflection of his brother and the Muslim community. Fox News. Brooke Taylor contributed to the report. Nobody cares about Brooke's bitch ass. But you see at the end, it says, he said this was not a direct reflection of his brother and the Muslim community. That's also, I know it's a white person speaking. Because any Muslim is going to say this is not a reflection of Islam. It's not a reflection of Islam or Muslims. Doesn't matter about his personal blood brother. Not a reflection of his brother and the Muslim community. It's just improper, man. There's just it's just certain things. When you're Muslim, it's certain things you pick up on, it's staples. It's like breathing for you, it's anything. Sometimes you notice things you don't even notice you notice. My brother Samba sent me a picture when he was in Italy of him and one of our brothers. And they were sitting having some very delicious pizza. Oh, let's just have a moment for the pizza. I said I wouldn't do this. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, he sent me this picture. And when I thought it was great because I just wanted to I always tell them to send me pictures because I want to see pictures just anytime somebody goes someplace. But when I was looking at the picture, then you know how you look at the picture, it's somebody you know in the picture and it's somebody you don't know. So you just kind of look at that person. Anyways, without making a long whole story, I just noticed I sent Samba a message saying, who is the brother? Something. He's not Muslim, right? Think he was going to say, yeah, he's not Muslim, but he's a good brother, whatever he's going to say. He goes, no, he's Muslim. I go, oh, because he's eating with his left hand. I just noticed that. I'm going to notice that. I'm going to notice that. I will notice that. So I offer that to say that you can hear things and to make it so that it's not so just like, oh, I know this. Let me make it something you could relate to too, you know, like like a mother, a woman, like women know stuff. And so if you were talking as a man, if you're talking something, or if even if you're a woman, you talking something about giving birth to a child and you really had no birth, a woman would pick up on certain things like, wait, the helper didn't say such and such. And, oh, girl, I don't think she gave birth to no baby. Yeah, girl, because she didn't even say such. I know, right? They would know. So I'm just saying, if you're in that, you know that, whatever that is. You know, I was a corrections officer for 3.5 years. I worked in a men's prison. Before that, I worked 2 years of juvenile corrections. To this day, if you've been incarcerated for over a year, I can smell the stench on you. I'm gonna know it. If you've been institutionalized, that's a better way to say it. If you were incarcerated, you were institutionalized, I'm gonna pick up on it. It's like a stain on you. I see it. I know it. But conversely, if you're an officer, inmates, ex-inmates, they out free now, they could tell. A lot of them, they could tell. I don't think anybody would know me now, like, you know. But I'm just trying to give you that example, you know. I don't want to abuse our time, everybody, but I think what I'm going to do is I am going to have my ass back here tomorrow, because I am going to be doing a lot more, putting out a lot more content. It's one of the things that I intend to achieve in this new year. And so certainly this will be certainly that. Khalifa, no, San, simply San. San, you say, sorry, Jedi, I am real late. Just found out my niece is getting married 1 month from tomorrow. 7th of February on my anniversario. So my whole family is coming to Miami. So I had to rush and get an Airbnb. Well, you might as well get two, San, because I'm coming too, goddamn. I'm not. I wish I was. And thank you, San. You said he was 42. It was reported. Thank you, San. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's why you're one of my soldiers. You understand? And any of y'all that do that, you understand? I told you guys this is interactive. Anytime I present myself for your viewing experience, to be with you live, it's interactive. It's not a dictatorship, everybody. And I only make myself available live just so that you're just not watching recorded videos, and so that you can talk to me in real time and ask me stuff. And so when I say something, somebody do such as, I mean that. I'm not just talking. I'm here communicating with you. I'm communicating with you. So thank you for that, Son. Thank you. And while you were apologizing that you're late, you were on it. You feel me? So I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's what you call being an asset to a channel, everybody. Take notes. So yeah, that'll be my commitment, everybody. That inshallah I will come back tomorrow. It's been tough for me, man. My energy level is just down and out because anyway. But I'll be back, inshallah, back tomorrow. And because I want to, like I said, I have a lot of stuff that I want to bring, and I'm just gonna have to just bring it in sections. Then I think I've beaten this enough and I found that out early in as we were going in. I feel like I realized I had made my prosecution and I had made my case. It was just about filler and to prove it now, so that you could clearly, if you didn't get it, you got it. Like that's what this whole thing is about. Look for more, because that's what their aim is. This was supposed to be a mass hysteria event with minimal investment. It was you used to have to blow up a building or do something major, and a whole bunch of people died. Now you can just run a remote control truck down an alley at Bourbon Street. Quick, it was a terrorist attack, and you get all that benefit out of that. It's like I gave you the half of an orange, and you want me to believe that or act as if you're giving me a gallon of orange juice off of a half of orange, and I don't believe you. So there will be more coming. This is setting the stage for that. I showed that with the stinking Zionists, with the underlighting, and only spoke about the two Israelis that came here and why they came here. Gave us their entire dossier when we didn't even need it. It's not even germane to what's going on, really, at least not at the depth that he shared. Like, and who cares? Like, they weren't any more special than the other ones that died. So why are you highlighting these ones? And you made no mention of the other ones that died, not even a condolence. So I already knew that. So that's what this event is about. We probably won't even cover the Vegas thing because I'm proclaiming, well, we won't go as in depth. We'll just go in enough to prove what I think already. They're definitely connected because, as I cited earlier and insinuated earlier, that this is meant to be a multi locational small events, but enough to cause enough ire. Back to the half orange now, and make you on a state of ooh. So how's this going to affect Trump taking office? By the way, one of the things I want to bring you is that there is a law, there's a constitution there's a law in the Constitution. Yeah, in the Constitution. That if a president has been accused and convicted of inciting insurrection, they are ineligible to hold office. Then there was something that they signed, the Congress, like, so that it's not just talking just the Constitution, but some stuff that happened recently with regard to that constitutional provision. There's something else that happened recently that they know this currently in their mind. So anybody on fucking Capitol Hill allowing an inauguration of Donald J. Trump on January, whatever it's supposed to be, is culpable, and the country would have the right to storm all that. They think they stormed it on January 6th. Everybody in this bitch would have every right to storm that bitch and remove every single one of them for violating the Constitution, overrunning the will of the people and the Constitution. I'll get more into that. Anyways, but for now, I think I got everybody. I just want to say again, another Happy New Year to all of you. And I just forgot what I'm saying as I'm saying it. That's what happens when you're 24. It just happens. Wow. 24 is not really that old, but it just seems like, I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, thank you all for your audience and especially my constant gardeners. Thank you also to my moderators. And just everybody that showed up to that was able to be a part of the stream this evening, everybody. If you're now watching it after we're done live, then do give the stream a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe to the channel, we will be honored if you would join us. But for now, I bid you all a very good evening. And it's a good time to cut out because I'm always thinking about my East Coast people. It's 11 o'clock, so we out. As I say, I'll be back tomorrow, and I do want to cover the other things I announced to you at the beginning. There's a lot of things that are be happening, everybody. You need to really understand the critical time. It's always critical for us, and that's just been a crescendo, and it will keep being a crescendo, but you need to really get serious about consuming knowledge about geopolitics because some major shit is happening right as you breathe. This also serves as a distraction also. Let's get Israel out of the headline for a minute until they reinsert themselves by trying to make two little stinking genociders special because they were there in Bourbon Street. Give a damn. If they weren't run over and absolutely killed, then I don't really think I need to know about it. It's not newsworthy. Just not newsworthy. Not to this editor, so just not understanding. But we're about to see everything that I've ever said to you about white people be on like a Megatron. Because I've always told you they're not, and Malcolm even said it, they're not a people who get along with anybody. They're not agreeable at all. And everything they've ever propped themselves up to be or thought they were is all artificial. They've stolen and maimed it from somebody else and claimed it. They don't have any contributions at all other than theft, murder, pillage, colonize, and down the list. And that's important to cite now because as all of the global South, they call it, begins to flex in its true identity, they are going to be on the losing end of everything. Suddenly, they will have to gravel at the feet, and that will be good for you and I because when you have African countries that can say, you're going to kill George Floyd, no more fucking uranium for you. Google won't be making anything. Amazon won't be making anything. Tesla won't be making anything because we have everything that you need for those things to survive. Nestle won't have shit. You understand? And down the list we can go. They'll be very afraid to fuck with anybody that's African. That's why it's time you FBA people figure out your damn identity. Because I'm okay with the FBA nonsense. I'm okay with that. But don't try and switch identities when you are on the shitty end of the stick because you picked the wrong identity. We shouldn't be bickering about who we call ourselves. I look at my skin, I know we match. That's all I need. In the very few days, I have some Kenyan brothers that I've spoke with recently that I will be coming on the platform and having a discussion. Everybody, I call him my little brother. The first night I saw one of his videos, as soon as it came on, he was probably maybe 30 seconds into speaking. But I tell you guys, I have a sixth sense. I'm clairvoyant and I feel energy. I've always been that way. It was probably 30 seconds. I go, that's my little brother. That's my little brother. That's it. I don't care. In my mind, he's my little brother. That's it. And so I reached out to him because I really reached out to him because I was gonna jam him up for removing my comment, but there's some ambiguity about that. And we had a beautiful conversation. He and myself and his brother, beautiful. We had a real bonding, and he goes by the name of Kenyan Beast, and then his brother is African Streamline or Africa Streamline. Anyways, they are fantastic, and we had a great discussion. And I said I want to have you guys on my platform. And we talk just like we're talking right now because they're Pan-Africanists and I love where their mind is and what they're doing and what they understand and all of that. So I'm going to be very excited to present these brothers to you and just give thanks to Allah for that, just the technology. Like we were saying on the phone when we were on the other day, just like you're all the way across the Atlantic and we're here talking like brothers right now. Just the technology that can be, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, I love that. So I've always said to you, if we can't agree on who the hell we are, we can't agree on what the hell we need to do about anything. I've said that a million times. So we need to get about the business of deciding on who the hell we are. You understand? And if it's just about labels, then forget about it. I'm not interested. If that label means something and has some benefit, some tangible benefit, not just some feeling, then I'm okay with it. But don't bring me that. And I'm citing that now because that's going to be important when we gain now our national recognition, international recognition, and respect. Nobody's going to be able to disrespect us any fucking country we go to because it's going to be known Africa does own everything. And so we can cut your shit off. We'll be the ones sanctioning countries and telling who can have this and who can't have that. It won't be this white demon anymore. It will be us. Do you understand? I know I'm an African and I know I'm West African. I know it. I know that. I also know I'm my mother's child. And I know I'm from the south side of Chicago. You understand what I'm telling you? Because whatever we call ourselves, our struggle doesn't change. And then quickly, Dr. Umar Johnson, I'm going to be doing a piece on this because you guys know I've always defended my brother. And I will continue. But when you love anything or anyone, you got to be willing to look them in the face and say, your breath stank. You need to get it together. And so here he was saying that black people don't, this generation of black people doesn't need to get reparations. I got a lot of few choice words about that. But for now, I leave you all to your evening and your rest. I will see you soon. For now, the Jedi has spoken. I'll see you soon.